Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today. You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
Why have I asked my electrician I found on Angie.com to bury my pet hamster? I was so moved by how carefully he buried my electrical wires, I knew I could trust him to bury my sweet nibbles after his untimely end.
This is very strange.
Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. I don't know if you heard about this, but about 1 million people packed downtown Seattle today for the Seahawks Super Bowl parade. And to say that getting downtown was a challenge, a bit of an understatement. I-5, the light rail, all packed. Trust me. But we knew it was going to be this way when we got up this morning. Besides, to celebrate your team's Super Bowl, it's worth the wait. I mean, when you think about it, you already waited 12 years. What's another hour or two? And if you think traffic sucked today, well, guess what? You're right. But it does not compare to the 2010 traffic jam on the China National Highway 110. Why do I bring this up? Because in spite of traffic here, that traffic jam set the record for the longest traffic jam ever because it lasted for 12 days. Now, if you're wondering what the longest traffic jam as far as distance happened to be, that was in India. It stretched 180 miles, and it lasted 48 hours. Obviously, nobody wants to be in that situation, so here's a question for you guys. Would you rather be in a 48-hour traffic jam or be on hold for 15 hours and 40 minutes?
Be on hold.
I'm taking the traffic jam. Either way, 15 hours, 40 minutes, that is the record for the longest hold time. And believe it or not, the call was from a guy in Australia on Qantas Airways just trying to confirm a flight. Now, depending on layovers, the flight itself, he was going from Adelaide to New York, that's 21 hours. And keep in mind, that includes layovers. The longest direct flight, 18 hours and 40 minutes from New York to Singapore, to which I say, no thanks. But look, here's the thing, all right? Whether coming into Seattle today, whether it's booking a flight, whether it's waiting on hold, inevitably, you've had to wait a long time to accomplish something. Or you had to travel a great distance to be where it is that you needed to be. And that's what we're talking about today, inspired by the parade traffic. Our question, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, is what is the farthest you have traveled or the longest you've had to wait?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. Send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com, and now watch the show live on YouTube at KISW Rock.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today. You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
Hi, this is Scott with Northwest Sleep Solutions in Fairhaven. We're celebrating 17 years here with our mattress store, and would like to take the time to thank all of you folks that have made this possible. Your referrals have been fantastic. We're a family-owned business here, and we still deliver setup, haul away, that's all included. We have a selection that I think is second to none. You'll find things here you might not find elsewhere at prices I know you won't find elsewhere. So come see us on the corner of 10th and McKenzie in Fairhaven.
Why have I asked my HVAC guy I found on Angie.com to change my grandpa's trachea tube? I was so amazed at how he replaced our air ducts. I knew I could trust him to change Pop-Pop's tube.
I think we should call her doctor.
Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
So away we go. Welcome to the 21st Amendment season, episode number 4473. What a large and in charge program we have for you today on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Guaranteed future repeats. Who Sucks Less is coming up. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find idiots in the news. You give us 3 stories each and every week. We pit them up against each other to figure out, of the 3, which one sucks the least. We have a theme this week. Is it looking better than normal?
I wouldn't say it's looking better than normal. Not necessarily a theme, but people that you would expect to help, maybe not helping. All right, so we have a story that our very own Mike Hawk brought us, I believe, on Monday. Has to do with daycare and laxatives. We have a fire chief who lost his job. He says it's unfair. I would just say maybe don't throw the phones at people in wheelchairs. And finally, we have a volunteer fire department in Pennsylvania that's a little bitter because the city won't let them use their fire hydrants and said just let the building burn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing.
Who Sucks Less is coming up at 4:30. Also, we're only a couple of days away from Live Night as we get Yachty and Naughty at the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Get those tickets now, KISW.com. As you know, we've talked about it plenty. Everything that night is live. You are part of the live studio audience, and we're going to have a good time, man. Get up there in the afternoon, do a little dress rehearsal, and then the show gets underway around 7 o'clock. Get there early and enjoy a little gambling, get some food in you, and join us for Live Night. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, why not? What else are you doing?
It's going to be Yacht Rocky. You can continue the party from today.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and that was kind of the idea and the inspiration. Oh, KISW.com for the tickets. The inspiration for our question. Yesterday, we started reading everything that everyone was providing as far as what to expect for today's parade. The idea that you should not drive downtown, and believe it or not, people listened.
They did, yeah.
As far as I did not see a lot of traffic on the road, but I still planned accordingly, sort of. So my plan was that I am about 4 miles away in Fremont.
Yeah.
It's actually a beautiful walk. You walk along Westlake, you walk along South Lake Union there, and then you kind of just head up Westlake and make it to work here on 5th and Marion. The mistake I made was that I got a coffee at Ladro, an Americano, for my walk, because I just wanted to wake up, and everything else. And I get about halfway down, I get 2 miles into the walk. So, I'm going to light up a cigarette. Still got my coffee. I'm still walking a pretty good clip, because once I get going, I walk at a pretty good pace. And then it hits me. And I'm like, oh, no, this is not the feeling I want to feel right now, because this thing is crowning, pretty much. You know what I mean? I'm prairie dogging pretty hard. So the last 2 miles was at a much slower pace. Thank God for a lot more of the traffic lights, where I could kind of stop, collect myself, and talk myself out of crapping my pants before I got here. But
all go for a slide back in the hole.
Yeah, but all in all, about 65 to 70-minute walk. Yeah, wasn't the worst in the world. Beautiful day, but
that helps.
Had to plan accordingly just to get in here to work. Now, Steve, what time did you leave the house?
We left at 7:50. So understand, my son, he is a Ravens fan, but he wanted to go to the parade. He's born and raised in Seattle. I said, absolutely. He said, but Dad, if I go to the parade, I'll miss school. I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. I said, brother, look, you can go to school and make up whatever garbage they're teaching, right? They do that for you. You're not going to get a makeup parade. The Seahawks are not going to throw another parade for you. So go have the experience. I don't care. It's fine. By the way, I should point out, when we got on the light rail this morning, we instantly met up with like 6 or 7 of his fellow classmates.
Oh, cool.
I think the kids estimated that 4 students would actually be in school in his class. I don't know why. But we left. So they came to our house. Then my wife was kind and dropped us all off down at the light rail, because she even told our friend, like, look, don't even try to park at the light rail station. Like, there's going to be a crazy number of people. You're not going to be able to park. So it's parked at our place. My wife drops us off. A train was pulling up as we got to the light rail station, about 8 o'clock in the morning at this point. So I'm thought, run, get up the escalator. I just need to make sure I can get to work. That was my thing.
Yeah.
The train was absolutely packed, which is not a surprise. But the kids, being kids, they kind of like wiggled their way on. Okay. So, but at this point, I was going to just let them go, right? Because there were 2 other adults. They were just going to go. And I'm like, whatever, man, I'll get the next train. But the mothers were like, no, man, that's the father of one of the kids, which is true. So a security guard looks at me and smiled and says, okay. And this woman got behind me, put her hands like basically on my shoulder blades, and pushed my ass into the train until the door shut. And then when the door shut, I kind of fell back against them. Getting here was no problem. It was super, super packed. But it's just one of those things. As the train got closer to downtown, every time we stopped at a stop, there's a million more Hawks fans. And they look a little butthurt. They can't fit on the train. So I started telling people, like, dude, my advice, get on the train headed north, go up 3 or 4 stations, and just walk across the platform. Then you'll be able to get on a train. But if you are underground, if you're headed from the north going into downtown.
Now do you have to re-ticket?
No.
Okay, you can just walk across.
That's why I was like, guys, seriously. So because they're trying to figure out a way to get on the train. I'm like, you're not going to fit. And there are no trains coming in the next 4 hours where your ass is going to fit. Seriously, you will save time. Get on the train, head north, walk across the platform, and get on up there. Because, I mean, like I said, once you're underground, man, you had 0 chance of getting on. And then I got off at Westlake, which was strategic as far as where our work is and not wanting to cross over 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the point where basically that train exploded with Hawks fans. It was like a pinata of blue, essentially. They got to Westlake, and I mean, it was unreal. And everyone's just, the Seahawks chants going on everywhere. It was cool, man. But I got here at 8:30, and I'm like, okay, I'm here, no problem. I managed to get a lot of work done, but the traffic, at least on the public transportation, was unbelievable, man.
There's only one stop ahead of north of Northgate, which is Linwood.
2.
Is there 2 now? All right.
There's 2, but still, just for
like,
how crowded
I got
it
to
was.
Northgate around the same time. I think he got on one of the ones
I
missed.
before you, yeah.
And then had to walk down.
Should have brought a kid, Ted. That was my secret weapon.
But I just couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, where'd you guys all come from?
What time did you get on?
I texted Mike and Taryn at like 7:45 or 7:50. Like I just missed a train.
Oh yeah.
So I missed 2. So I think if he got on at 8, he was on that one. Then I got on the next one. As I was in Pioneer Square by like 8:35, 8:40.
Yeah. Like, so once you got on the train, it was fine, right? It rolls along, but you just felt bad for everyone else, like because just the look. It was like little kids waiting to open a gift. They just want to get on the train because they're excited, and it's like you're not getting on, man.
Well, you knew it would be crowded, but again, in their defense, and the same thing with me, I just was like, it'd be crowded, but I'm like, it's 7:45 as I'm walking up there, like, I'll be fine.
No.
When that thing pulled in and it was shoulder to shoulder, I was like, holy S.
I've seen trains with fewer people during an evacuation. I mean, it was unfrickin' real.
But you went down to the stadium.
I did, yeah. My one of my friends, Vanessa, she had hooked us. She was like, I got tickets. So we had sat with them for the NFC Championships. I was like, all right, I'll go meet you guys. Yeah, stadium was awesome.
How many people do you think were in the stadium?
So not nearly as many because it was ticketed and the whole north end was blocked off. They had like the floor open and then the whole north end was blocked off because that's where they had the stage. And I did, Mike, you're going to have to watch it dump. Be careful today. But it was just awesome to see. Like all the like, what do you call it? National Guard trucks were down there.
Yeah.
Some of those buses, those double-decker buses were not down there. Those must have been outside the stadium. And then credit to Transit, they had the oldest looking Seattle bus I've ever seen. And when they pulled it off of there, I mean, it looked like it gets stuck there. And then I think it got stuck trying to pull out of the stadium.
Really?
So, like, the whole setup looked badass, but I was like, whoa, this is tough getting stuff out of here.
Right. And did most of the starters get up and say a few words, or just a select group of guys?
Just a select group of guys. But everybody you wanted to hear for. The only one that didn't get up there and shout out to Rabel, he was kind of wrapping it up, and all the players were like, hang on. And Cooper Kupp got up there.
Was he hammered?
Cooper, I don't think he was.
At the YouTube feed, someone was like, man, I'm pretty sure Cooper Kupp was
I know he's
not okay.
He was wearing a King Griffey Jr.
Right, so
jersey.
Shout out to him, right? Because he was kind of like, and credit to him, he was he's wearing a Mariners jersey, and he's like, I want to make sure I give love to everybody from all these other towns. Like,
Sure.
This is for the whole Northwest.
Because he's from Yakima.
Correct.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Probably knows the Walmart well.
He probably does. I talked to a guy about this
Probably
today.
like, you go there, man.
And he goes, I'm from Yakima. I moved over here years ago. And I said, one of the worst nights of my life.
Yakima.
On my way to Burning Man.
I will say the crowd was cool, man. So we, where the parade went by here, it had been 4th and Marion. So at that point, went out to smoke a cigarette. I didn't have the greatest line of view, but I could see when the vehicles were going by. Just hearing the crowd go ape-ass, I'm like, this is cool, man. But we're
Also,
even saying the players had to even be like, Jesus Christ.
When you
guys.
got on the outskirts, when you got on to Fifth, or if you look down to Third, there wasn't a lot of foot traffic. I mean, everybody seriously was on Fourth. And so it was kind of like a ghost town up here. There was nobody in this building all day.
Nope.
There was nobody at any of the restaurants as far as lunch goes. It was just absolutely a ghost town. It was like you came in.
But there's a million people a block away.
There's a million people downtown, but just everything else was just kind of dead.
Oh, yeah.
But thank God people didn't drive in.
We tried to watch most of the stuff, but then, frankly, everybody I was with, everybody had to go to work.
Yeah.
So then we walked out. We went over. We're like, all right, let's just waste a little time as that parade was still pretty slow going. But, man, by the time I got up to Fifth, I mean, I felt like a salmon going home to spawn. There was just floods of people. And I'm like, ooh, excuse me.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to put a ballpark estimate. But is anyone talking about the numbers?
I haven't seen a number yet, but
They were
the
flying
estimate?
helicopters up and down the
I
street.
mean, how do you? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, damn! I got to start again. I'm like, there's a lot. We know that, but I mean, how do you determine the difference between 700,000 people versus 1 million people?
It's got to be something with aerial photos and
I guess,
percentage-wise. I mean, I will say this: that parade started late. They're always going to start late. But remember, in 14, that thing started 90 minutes late, and it ended down there. So people were just out in the cold. This one, I don't know if it's the weather. It felt bigger. The city's bigger. I mean, I can't go on. I can't say there was 1 million down there, but there was a lot of people.
Well, I would assume you get on there for the Super Bowl. It's a blur. You win the game. That's always a blur too. You finally get back home, and then you do this parade. And I can tell you, when you're playing the game of football, you're really not paying attention to the crowd that much. You're more focused of what you're doing on the field.
Yeah,
that's when you're going to work. That's your job. Yes, you look up in the stands.
Sure.
That. But in this instance, I have to think for the players, for the families, for the coaches, for all those people, it might have set in a little bit that they won the Super Bowl and that this city, how much they love that team. When you see something like that
there's no question.
in person, like that's when you go, holy cow, man, we did it.
I mean,
especially for a couple of those guys.
To it was unbelievable. Like, just when the floats went by and just hearing the crowd, I'm like,
you could hear the roar coming up Fourth.
It was unreal.
So every intersection you could hear the roar, and it's slowly just the roar. It's kind of like the wave.
Yeah, you knew when it was getting there.
And you're right.
Coming up the street.
Especially the defense, they can tell when they're playing at home and it's loud. But to see the look on their faces, honestly, that was the first time in my life I've ever heard. They kept making announcements and be like, players, coaches, report to your vehicle.
Right.
They were just walking around the stadium talking to me. So you're right. I think it dawned on a lot of it. Not only did they realize it, it's the only time they get to really enjoy it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wave to somebody here, by the way, says they had to extend the parade 1 block because so many people showed up.
All right.
And this, I'm going to have to go back and watch all of this. We didn't watch any of the televised stuff. It says when John Snyder was talking, looked like someone passed a vape behind him. LOL.
Oh, nice.
Oh, somebody was definitely passing something. I could tell it was a cigar.
Hopefully it was
blunt. And
no.
you saw one of the other players be like, guys.
Oh, right. Yeah, we're up on
come
stage.
Chill out,
Yes,
man.
you can, though. Yes, you can. And the other thing about it is that, in my world, the Bellevue other side where the VA is over there, or the VMAC,
VMAC.
in Renton, that's a different world. If you live on that side. Correct. You're relegated to that side. Unless you work downtown or whatever the deal is. And then, of course, they come down here for game days. But other than that, I don't know how much time those guys actually spend in downtown Seattle. And to see that many people. And, when you're walking up that road, you basically got a bird's eye view of the Space Needle. When time you get to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool trek. So,
right, you have everybody. You have all the season ticket holders.
For sure.
Then you have people that maybe have gone to a game or two, right? Then you have people that just want to see it. You're right. And they're coming from everywhere.
Everywhere.
I saw so many kids.
Oh, yeah.
So many kids.
We were laughing. There was there's no way. Is it really? You're not going to give these kids an excuse back. It's like, what are you going to do? Hold them all back a year? There was so many kids. And good. Look, my brother is a principal. And even he told me yesterday, he was like, "Oh, I would give my school off."
Yeah,
come on.
My daughter's school closed.
Yeah.
They said, look, whatever day they announced the parade, that's the day we're going to be closed. So on Monday, we found out, hey, we're closed on Wednesday because you're not going to be here anyway. And like I said, my kid, I don't know about his school, but in his class, there's like 4 or 5 kids. And then the kids he's with on the train, all they're doing is taking selfies of the massive crowd and sending it to the kids in school. It's like, why aren't you here? What are you doing? Because on a day like that, even the teachers aren't really going to give you anything to do because there's nobody there.
Yeah, I mean the guy behind
me
me had flown up from Sacramento. I talked to somebody from Orcas Island that had come to, that guy started at 3 a.m. or something.
There's a guy on YouTube, Mad Greek, I believe it is, that he drove from Georgia.
Damn.
To Tacoma to be here for the parade.
Wow. So that's what we're kind of talking about today. We're going to talk about the voyage, whether that was just the time it took to get there one way or another, whether you got delayed or whatever the deal was, or the distance. A lot of you guys are in the military. You've gone a long way around the world. So, or just as long as you've had to wait anywhere for anything. So that's our question today. What is the farthest you've traveled or the longest that you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Harvey, it's selfie time.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Zoe. With the center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
At T-Mobile, you can get iPhone 17 on them. No trade-in needed.
Amazing, but switching takes forever.
Not at T-Mobile. You can switch in just 15 minutes. Okay, let's try a prom pose. I'm in front.
Okay, big eyes, full lips. Oh, time to focus.
Oh, I'm crazy-eyed.
Okay, it's okay. Retake.
Smile. Switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes and get a new iPhone 17 on us. No trade-in needed.
You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
Why have I asked my electrician I found on Angie.com to bury my pet hamster Nibbles in our yard for me? Because I was so moved by how carefully he buried my electrical wires, I knew I could trust him to bury my sweet Nibbles after his untimely end. Nibbles, gone too soon. May he scurry in peace.
Hey, sorry about your pet, but I just wire stuff.
Nibbles would have loved you like a brother.
Connecting homeowners with skilled pros for over 30 years. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
The mighty 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Oh, look who just walked in the door.
Woo! Wow.
From the Daily Next Morning Show. Get up for Tara Daly. Steve Banks.
Yeah!
How you guys feeling?
Ooh. This was the greatest day of my life.
I literally, the birth of my son, getting married to my soulmate.
That's 2?
And then today.
Oh.
Today was amazing.
Yeah, this was better than all of that.
Oh, yeah. So you guys were on this morning for...
We did the show.
Then you took off?
Took off. We were able to get like media passes. We thought, oh, this is gonna be awesome. We get to go in the field. We meet Blitz. We're like, this day can't get any better. Next thing you know, the team's locker room door is open. They're all just hanging out in there, and we were like, what happens if we just walk in? And we hung out with them for like an hour.
Nobody said anything. And we decided if we get kicked out, hey, at least we tried.
Yes.
But we never got kicked out. No one questioned.
You didn't say we're from KISW? Nothing?
Nothing. No. Like, and we're just in there, and all of a sudden someone walks up to me. He's like, hey, man, love your jersey. I'm wearing an Ernest Jones jersey. And it just so happened that was Ernest Jones telling me that he loved my jersey. And I go,
Are you
I
kidding
know
me?
what that's to say. I'm like, I love it too.
Really?
I got to bro down with Abe Lucas about being Cougs because we're basically the same, you know?
Yeah, basically the same. Yeah, probably head to the same bars you went to.
Oh, yeah, the Coug. He
Coach
loves
Mike.
the Coug.
I called him Coach Mike, took a picture with us.
Really?
Dude, it was just great. Cooper Cup.
Was he cool about taking the coach, right? Because everybody wants him, right?
Well, they're riding high. They just won the Super Bowl, so they didn't care.
Everybody said yes. Nobody said no to us.
JSN smiling from ear to ear for what reason? I think we can figure out. But he was just like, yeah, I'll take a picture with you guys.
Did you guys smell any weed back there? Because some of the things, the hits we're getting on YouTube, they said, look, we're watching John Snyder give a speech, but we're distracted because in the background, we're pretty sure they're passing a vape. Ted, you said it could have been a cigarette or a blunt.
Right. You could just see somebody in the background was like, guys.
It wasn't just cigars.
It smelled like Seattle in Seattle.
Okay. All right. Were any of the old school players? Did you see any of those guys?
Jim Zorn?
Jim Zorn, Matt Hasselbeck, Marcus Trufant, Richard Sherman.
Cliff Averill.
Cliff Averill as well, Lofa Tatupu. The highlight that you mentioned, John Schneider, at some point they're getting ready to go off for the parade. I locked eyes with him, puts his hand in his pocket. He throws
did you
me
get
something.
one?
Yes.
Nice.
I love Tiny Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Tossing out baby Jesus.
So now the new song is Hold Me Closer, Tiny Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I've got Tiny Jesus. He'll forever be in my pocket.
Now, were those guys also in the parade? Were they included in that?
Yes.
Okay.
They had everybody that's associated with the organization was in the parade.
Miles, I'm pretty sure if we tried hard enough, we might have been able to get on one of those trucks. Like, it was just insane. Like, everybody was just in great spirits.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's right. So I was in the stands. I mean, I was on the front row, but I couldn't get over telling them how many people were down there on the field. I was like, anybody who's like anything does anything in Seattle is down there.
Yeah, Matt Hasselbeck was just kind of hanging around, like just walking around with his family. Like, it wasn't like there was no entourage. It was
right.
It was surreal.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Did you guys get any interviews? Do you secure anything?
We weren't really allowed to do that.
Well, I mean, like to ask them to come on your show, like at a later date.
We got shot down by the park rangers, and we figured we should stop asking.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were going to ask, but that was the one thing when they said we could get these media passes, like, do not broadcast live from here, and also no interviews. So I'm like, they never say anything about sneaking into a locker room.
But isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to give me a pass on the condition I don't have to work?
And
done.
It was
brother.
fantastic.
Take
It was
that
the
every
best.
time.
How's the inside of that locker room?
It's beautiful.
Is it? We're just walking around.
It was huge. Dude, we were a second away from getting to hold the Lombardi and take a picture with it.
Oh, really?
And the handler who had white gloves on, he's like, guys, I can't do it right now. We got to take it out there for the celebration.
Right, sure.
He's like, wait. When we come back, you get a picture then. I'm like, we're never going to
no
make
way
it
we're
coming back.
You should have jumped in the locker room, taken a shower.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Just
Even
the
Ernest
towels
Jones
and-
like, hey, man, I'll get your autograph later. We'll meet up. I'm like, what? No.
Man.
He's like, you don't have a Sharpie? I'm like, I didn't think I was going to get to meet you.
Right.
Had I known.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Jeez,
Unreal.
It was the best time.
That is insane. How many people do you think were down in the stadium?
Inside?
I mean, it wasn't. They didn't have all the seats like full for. I don't think they filled them all up. What would you say? Maybe like 30.
Yeah, probably at least
30,
that,
40,000 inside of
But
it.
that was a ticketed event, so that's still pretty significant.
And walking there, and Ted, you could attest to it. It was just a sea of people, and all the bootleg T-shirts. I was impressed by how many.
There
people
were a ton.
$25
There were a ton when I was walking in.
Impressive. Yeah.
What is the Marilyn Monroe thing? I don't even know that one.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's
You
bootleg
pointed it out
T-shirts
on the way back. The
Marilyn
T-shirt
Mon-
with the Marilyn Monroe wearing a Seahawks shirt.
I did not point that out. I don't even know what you're talking
It
about.
can't be a real shirt because she was dead by that point.
I know.
There's got to be some connection, but I'm saying even I don't know what it is, but I almost bought one.
I do love all the players were rocking the Sam Darnold middle finger cigar shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, these guys love Sam Darnold. And he was freaking cool, too.
Of course he was.
Well, and after we saw those shirts, I found them online, and I bought one for Danny and one for Steve and one for me.
$17.99 a piece.
You guys going to start smoking Marlboro Reds in honor of grandfather
Obviously.
Dick Hammer?
Dick Hammer.
Yeah.
That's my
Did
dude.
you ask him about Mr. Hammer?
I did not.
Okay.
Did Brad smoke one? Your husband.
I don't know.
He was part of that agreement in October.
He was going to smoke a Marb Red?
Yeah, for Dick Hammer.
Holy cow. I'm not sure if he did.
Now, he gave up cigarettes, so that might be a different ball game.
Dick Hammer.
I'll have to see if he held up his end.
The rest of the pack.
So did you guys just stay in the locker room as long as you could before you got kicked
Correct.
out?
We walked out with the team out of the tunnel. Literally, we're right behind them. So everyone's cheering.
Was there any other media people in there?
No.
It was just you guys?
We weren't supposed to be in there.
You're not even media.
Dude, only people in there, I swear to God, were the players and their families.
I will show you the
And
video.
us.
I took a video of us walking out behind the players as if we are part of the entourage, which we were not.
That's
It
awesome.
was great.
Everybody I went with, as soon as you guys started posting, they're like, dude. And I'm like, I don't know. I'll ask.
We still don't know. I walked in with like a Starbucks cup in my hand. I felt like that gave me like this like aura of chill.
It does. Nobody wants to mess with a guy with a latte in his hand.
This is just a reminder to act as if. If you walk up with your chin held high, your chest puffed out with confidence, no one's gonna.
You two can hang out.
No one asked where you were from. No one asked.
And from
Picture all of us, and then there's Danny also with a cup of coffee and a half-eaten bag of Doritos, like in the locker room. He's like,
"Where do you get the Doritos?"
They're, I think, from the media thing. I don't even know.
And there's so many smoking hot players' wives in there, and then there's me. Like I'm clearly not married to anyone in that locker room. Very clearly.
I kept pretending that I'm part of Ernest Jones' family since I was wearing his jersey. We look identical.
Some of the, as they would call them, wags, wives, and girlfriends. But even from my view, we were like, holy yes.
Were you? Was he shocked that you were wearing his jersey?
He came right up to me, just was like fired up that I had the jersey on, and we just had like this real heartfelt conversation about like faith and other things. And it was a great moment, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, that's where it ends. Can I get on the? Yeah, it was just crazy.
Can I ride on your float?
Now, were people getting tuned up? Was there Bud Lights back there, or did they have drinks?
Ernest had my friend Ernest. He had. I don't even know what it was.
Giant
but
fancy bottle.
It looked like a very expensive bottle of booze that he was just walking around.
Was
with.
it gold?
I wanted to get a swig out of it.
Can I get a pull that, brother?
I should have asked that.
Yeah,
I was like,
seriously.
I don't have a Sharpie, but can I drink your drink?
I don't know you, but can I have a little
Was
of
it
that?
gold?
It was black.
black.
It looked like
Right.
it looked like a scepter.
Somebody had like the Ace of Spades champagne bottle, that giant gold one.
Yeah, and he wasn't the only one with whatever this expensive elixir was.
Now, did you guys pile into a bar afterward or anything?
We went, beforehand, we went into Gantry's Public House and had a sex on the beach, which none of us had one of those before.
How was it? You've never had sex on the beach?
Fine.
No.
It was very fruity. I don't
is?
think I would drink more than two at one. In one
and then
sitting.
Why are we ordering sex on the beach?
It's a long story. Anyway,
Well, then we got time.
then afterwards,
Someone, it was their 21st birthday in Yelm, and the first drink that they decided to have, she had was sex on the beach. So we talked about it on the air. We were just like, none of us ever had a sex on the beach, so that was our goal. Not realizing we'd have it before we even had breakfast.
we also basically shotgunned a White Claw
Did you-
the alley, and then
Shout
we
out
went to the
Rocky.
hall.
Yeah, this guy Rocky had White Claws in his backpack and just hit.
Did you draw straws to see who would order that? So you wouldn't look
Danny
like
Danny did.
Oh,
Yeah,
Danny.
yeah.
And then we finished at the hall on Occidental, and that was a whole vibe. Everybody was eating chicken wings.
We met Wilson the pony. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that pony's still alive?
12thpony.com.
I met that pony in 2014.
And that pony loves taking selfies. So I tried to take a selfie with it, and it just shoved its face into my camera.
Who the hell is
It's a
this
little
pony?
small. I've told
It's
you
like
about
a
this
Shetland
before,
pony.
but the colors of the hair are blue and green.
And
I've talked about this for years. I can't believe he's still around.
It even had its hooves painted
look at it.
in glitter. Had a very nice pedicure.
The handler's like a blonde woman, right?
Yes.
Yeah, same pony.
Same
Yes, it was a whole day, a full day.
You're more excited about that than any of the players I mentioned.
Well, I didn't meet the players. I met that pony before.
We thought this was going to be the highlight of our day. Meeting the pony.
I cannot believe you got snuck in.
I know.
I mean, did we sneak in?
No, you walked in.
Yeah, you kind of. Yeah, we just walked in.
You walked in.
And now we're friends with Ernest Jones, so we're going to do it again next year.
Wow.
And John Schneider threw me a little tiny Jesus.
Little baby Jesus.
Did you get a chance to talk to John Schneider at all?
No, he walked right by. I just locked eyes.
He just took his Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't talk to you. Just give me some
Well, he
Jesus.
threw one on to Mike McDonald because he was in like the car behind them, and it landed on the roof. And I was tempted to just jump on. I'm like, but these military people, I felt like that would be weird if I just jumped on the roof to grab a little Jesus, to steal the Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, why did Steve get tased?
And I go, you know what? Why don't I just lock eyes with John Schneider? Maybe he'll throw one to me. And he did.
I'm going to try that now. If I ever see him, I'm going to lock eyes and wait for my Jesus.
Well, at first we thought he was throwing out Tootsie Rolls. Like, how many Tootsie Rolls does this guy have in his pocket?
Snacks.
I played in a golf tournament and then went to my buddy's bar. And this is right when they hired Mike McDonald. And so John Schneider's sitting in there, and I walk to the bathroom, and I look at him, and he's got, like, a spreadsheet out, like, he's working. But I'm like, you guys just hired our defensive coordinator. He just thumbs up. He's like, this is going to be good. And I was like, no, it's not. You just took our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's going to be the man. I'm like, I know he's the man. Like, the Ravens have a good defense. You know,
That's
he's
why
like,
we did.
Yeah, exactly. That's
now
the only conversation I've ever had with
the
a guy. Was that. I was like, damn you, man. Like, I wanted to flip him off. Like, I cannot believe
That's why you didn't get a Jesus.
He just took our defensive coordinator. You son of a... Exactly.
That's so great. Dude, I had a
Now
moment
we're
of
here
almost
today.
being embarrassed, though. They were doing the whole speeches, and John Schneider was talking about how, like, you know, this is a team full of, like, people who dealt with tragedies, and he was listening to everybody whose father passed away in the last year. So he's listening, and I almost yelled, "My dad died too!" This is not the time to be like, "Oh,
Same, guys.
me too."
Yeah.
12
Same with 10. I'm on the way. All right.
Sean's our dad.
Sean's dad died last year. We had the same conversation. It's been like 3 years for me, so I couldn't bring it up.
But it was like he kept the way he was saying it. It was like it was triumphant. Like,
There was
I know
angels.
right? So I wanted to be a part of that. I'm like, dude, my dad died as well. Let's go Hawks.
Hell yeah. Go on.
How long did it take you to cut through to walk down?
It wasn't bad on the way. It wasn't
Yeah.
bad on the way back either.
No, it's just like what 10, 15 minutes. Like
But the
what it would
cars,
usually take. Yeah.
people that were in cars looked like they weren't moving very
So
fast.
were you able to actually get out of the stadium and then watch any of the parade at all?
We watched it from the TVs
bar.
at the hall on Occidental.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Looked fantastic. King 5 did a great job.
You guys working tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of King 5, some people, you brought up Wilson the pony. Someone says, I saw Wilson on TV today. So cute. I saw the pony on the King 5 stream.
Yes.
People are loving Wilson.
12thpony.com.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I brought it up a couple of weeks ago. People were like, oh, yeah, man. But I just didn't think that pony was still around.
Oh, he's still around.
She told us that pony has been to the players' houses for birthday parties.
Are you kidding me?
The kids love him.
Okay. The Seahawk that loved the pony the most, oddly enough, was Russell Wilson.
No Russell Wilson sightings?
No.
Okay. Did you what was your line when you're like walking in? They're Sam Darnold. I gotta think of something to say. Like what are you saying when you're walking up to these guys who don't know you and you're not part of the family or anything?
You know, it was more just like, hey, man, mind a picture? And then, like, introduce yourself and then grab the picture. Although I did... the Coach Mike, I want to say Mike, Coach Mike, can I get a picture with you? He's like, yeah. And as I'm taking a picture, I awkwardly go, thank you so much for what you did for us. And I'm like,
what's wrong with that?
I don't know. It felt kind of dorky.
It was. I mean, but he just seems like a straight down the line guy.
But it is dorky.
How about you, Terry? What did you
Well,
say? Is it all just selfies with you guys? Can I get a selfie? Can I get
Our
a
phone
picture?
screener
Introduce
Dayton
first and then
got a
selfie,
great
yeah.
video of me, a candid video of me talking to Cooper Kupp, in which I am like overly animated, like, hi, it's so nice to meet you, blah, 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 being crazy. And he looks as chill as could be, probably like, get this psycho
I've
woman
already
out
got
of my
two of
face.
these women. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but just, they were all insanely nice. It was such a fun vibe.
Did you talk about some of your favorite places to go in Yakima?
No.
'Cause
The
there aren't
armpit,
any.
well, you go to Miners, obviously. That's where you go get a burger is at Miners.
Yep, yep.
Everybody knows that.
What a cool morning, though.
Unreal. Yeah, and like, dude, the once you asked for one person to take a picture with and he said yes, you're like, I think they'll all say yes. And then it was just like, all bets were off. Just walking up to them all, just saying hi and taking pictures.
They're on top of the world, man.
There's never a better time to ask them.
You know, you want a Super Bowl, then on top of that, on this day, it's like, hey, guys, I know you're still excited about the Super Bowl, but when you leave the stadium, there are 1 million people waiting to say thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Crazy.
that's badass. Right?
Does it seem like it is set in for those guys? Are they kind of floating, or is
I think
it still...
this might have been the moment where it set in. Honestly, I think the parade might have, if anybody was still waiting for that moment, I think today solidified it.
Like, the Super Bowl week is a blur.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing all that crap down there. And then you play the game real quick. And then before you know it, you know what I mean? You fly home, you see your family, you see your friends and all that stuff. But it takes a while for those kind of events, I would think, just to register in your head that you've done it.
Well, yeah.
And to realize how many fans and how many people
love you.
You made happy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What you did to a city.
And they haven't even had quiet moments yet. You know
No.
what I mean? Like, I think those quiet moments are when things are really going to register.
Yeah. But I think there's two things for them to get over. You know, one, you got to let the fact that you won the Super Bowl sink in, right? So today is the day I would think that it sinks in, but then it's probably going to take another 2 days for it to sink in that 1 million freaking people line the street of a city to say, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And there was a cool moment in the locker room. I don't know if you noticed. There was a few players that were just sitting at their locker room stall, just BSing with each other. And I'm thinking, like, for those guys, this might be the last time they're going to get to do that.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, and they got to do it on a high note, of course. But still, like, next season,
you don't know.
You just don't know.
All those lockers have been cleaned out for weeks.
Yeah.
Since the NFC Championship game. So they don't have any of their helmets in there or any of that stuff. It's just, it's just completely.
Just the booze.
Yeah.
And baby Jesuses.
Baby Jesuses, a fancy elixir of some sort, and 3 knuckleheads on the radio acting like we belong.
That's crazy.
Hey, we did it right.
Hey, that's the best story of a long time. Huh?
I don't think I'll ever be able to top that. I mean, being such a big fan of the team.
Yeah, Ted's like, how did they do that? I'm like, I don't know.
Like, that is ridiculous.
It was right place, right time.
How did they get there? Like,
We kept waiting for somebody to be like, you guys need to leave.
Right.
And we left with them.
That's when you had to go.
Yeah.
And they met Wilson, Ted.
Yeah. Well, I met a lot of
They
people
sounds like
down
they had a
at
much better day than you did.
A lot of the cops said Ted liked the show. They said, where you going? I said, back to frickin' work.
Yeah.
Look at you, company man.
Oh, yeah. Trooper.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad you guys had an awesome day.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Go
Amazing.
Hawks.
Amazing. Our question, what is the farthest you've traveled or the longest you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today. You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
You know Gray Bar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
I'm Claire Fallon.
And I'm Emma Gray.
We are friends and reality dating show fans, and the only thing we love as much as love stories is lovingly snarking on them.
Whether you love or love to hate it, listen to Love to See It, our podcast dissecting all the romance we see on screen.
From reality dating shows like The Bachelor and Love is Blind to classic rom-coms like You've Got Mail, we recap in obsessive detail and unpack all the weird messages they send us about love, sex, and dating.
Listen to Love to See It on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Why have I asked my electrician I found on Angie.com to bury my pet hamster? I was so moved by how carefully he buried my electrical wires, I knew I could trust him to bury my sweet nibbles after his untimely end.
This is very strange.
Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport. Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Seahawks sideline reporter Jen Mueller was on the program last week, and we asked her if the Seahawks win this thing, will you come back on and tell us the rest of your experience?
Yeah.
Because we talked to her on, I believe, Friday afternoon.
Thursday or Friday?
Thursday or Friday, but either way, we're going to try to get Jen back on around 4 o'clock. Here's the deal. There's so many people downtown using the Wi-Fi and everything else. We're going to try to get a signal with her if we can. So hopefully we'll have Jen coming up at 4 o'clock. Our question, what is the farthest you traveled or the longest you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Beezus. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
God, I love you guys.
Oh, we love you too, man. Thank you.
Real quick, what's the best way to listen to you guys for the best rating? On the Odyssey app, on FM radio, or YouTube?
I think it's all the same, to be honest with
Just
you,
depends
man.
on how you want to digest it. If you're at home, man, put us up on your big TV and do it that way.
I listen to you every day, so whichever way gives you guys the best rating, that's the way I'm going to listen. So,
Well, appreciate that. Hey, here's another thing. You know, as far as the app, it does not work out of the United States. Obviously,
Correct.
the FM signal is always going to push as far as it does. So if you are out of the country, if you are in Canada, if you are somewhere else, you can always check out the show on YouTube.
Yep, that's a good point.
So,
good to know. Because I'm just kind of right outside of FM range, but I can still listen to you on the radio if that's better. You know?
where are you living?
Elma, Washington, about 100 miles away.
Okay. I picked this up, believe it or not, from Astoria, Oregon, all the way down to Cannon Beach.
Damn.
I don't know how the hell the signal bounces off the water like that.
I don't
It's
know.
pretty amazing.
Yeah. Hey, right on. Hey, as long as everybody gets to hear you guys, because you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.
So first of all, that's awesome about Karen Daly and Steve Miggs getting into the locker room. That is so cool.
Yeah.
It turns out sometimes just to be there, you literally just show up, and that's their whole story.
Act like you belong.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. So in 2005, just out of F's and giggles, me and three buddies, we picked up season tickets to the Seahawks because they were $24 a ticket.
Damn. Okay.
So we picked it up in 2005. I mean,
that makes sense for the Trent Dilfer years.
Yeah, the year we went to the Super Bowl. So I mean, it was a perfect year to pick up season tickets. So I think it was the NFC Championship game against the Panthers. So it went in. I want to say it went into overtime. We ended up beating them. So it was a long, long game, and it started snowing like crazy. And so we get out of there. It was about, I want to say 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and it just starts dumping snow. And we're on our way home. And like I said, so I'm about 100 miles away. So about 5 hours, and it was my turn to drive home. So my buddies and all my buddies were double fisting the whole game, so they're 3 sheets to the wind. One buddy's passed out in the passenger seat. We're about 5 hours into the drive home, and the buddy in the back's like, I gotta pee. And I'm like, I am not pulling over. Like we're 5 hours in, we still got about 3-4 hours to go. I was like, I am not pulling over. And he's like, I gotta pee. And I was like, this is straight up out of the movie Dumb and Dumber. And I'm like, grab a bottle. I'm like, I'm not pulling over. And he's like, there's no bottle back here. So I'm like, well, at this point we're doing like 3 miles an hour. And I'm like, I told him, get out, go grab one out of the trunk. I was like, I'm not stopping. So he gets out, and I'm still driving down the middle of I-5. He grabs a bottle out of the trunk, and at this point, people are seeing us, knowing what's going on. They're all seeing the bottle, because they've all been stuck in traffic for 5 hours with the rest of us. And he's straight up, and I'm like, you're going in the bottle. And he starts filling it up, and it's like, just like Dumb and Dumber, he starts to get to the top, and he's like, He's like, I'm almost to the top, and I'm still going. And I'm like, he's like, I can't stop once I start. It stings. And I'm like, it's going to really sting when you find.
Just pinch it.
I tell my sister, you pissed all over the back of the back of her car. So he fills that bottle all the way to the top. And then when he goes to dump it out of the window, you can see the steam. It's very obvious what's going on. Everybody starts hitting their hazards, their flashers.
Well,
yep, when you got to go, you got to go.
Well, it's the truth of it, man. Like you said, you're going 3 miles an hour. Ends up being a 9-hour drive to go 100 miles? No, thanks.
I know you've done long drives with your parents.
Yeah.
But I did 24 hours straight from West Virginia to Key West.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of pee in the bottles, too. I've also done the drive straight to New Orleans, not nearly as far.
Sure.
The thing about Key West is you don't realize how big Florida is. We were probably on the road for 13, 14 hours or so.
Yeah.
So, you get to the Jacksonville area, and there's the sign, "Welcome to Florida."
And you feel better.
We're high-fiving, man. We're like, this is awesome. We made it. And now you realize that you've got another 10 to 12 more hours to go. So it was quite the haul. But when we got there,
it's still better doing that trip with a group of buddies than sitting in the back seat as a kid.
Dude, because you can't say anything as a kid, right? Because the same thing would happen in Texas. We went to Texas where we started from the east, but we were driving straight through. And the east side of Texas to the west side of Texas might as well be like 18 different countries, right? I mean, it takes forever. And as a kid, you want to pipe up and say something because you're losing your mind. But my dad, he would just give you the look in the rearview mirror. Like, I hate it. Your mom hates it. Your brother hates it. Say something, I'll kill you. It was just understood. So the car was it's like eerily quiet, but everyone's unhappy. But all I can think is like, this is your idea. Mm-hmm. We said, buy plane tickets, man. I've made it clear I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. And now just the silent threat of death, I can't even say anything.
That was my parents' rule. If they were going someplace that was too far away, they would fly.
Sure.
But if the kids were going anywhere with us, with the whole family together, it was always a driving. And they would push the boundaries on that. Like Daytona or Orlando or wherever a vacation was, we would always have to drive. And also we'd have to pack sandwiches and have a cooler.
Sure.
Like, I'm passing all these cool fast food restaurants that I've never been to before. I'm like, I want to go there and get a hamburger. Like, no, we got PB&Js in the back.
I'm not even kidding when I say this now. Now that I'm thinking back, I don't know that I've been on a flight with my parents at an age record. I know when I was like 2, I was, because my mother tells me a story, but I was like 2, right? But since I'm just thinking back, because you just brought that up, and I'm like, yeah, we did that, but certainly we flew somewhere together, right? We didn't. Man,
Bahamas, maybe?
No, my brother and I flew down. They did not go with us.
All right.
And they did other things while we were gone. God damn. That never really registered until right now. Like, I'm pretty sure I have never been on a plane I've been to the airport to pick people up. They have dropped me off at the airport, but I don't think I've ever been on a flight.
I'm with you.
With my parents.
I went on a plane ride with my dad and brother.
Yeah.
When I was like in 7th grade to go watch Maryland play Florida State, but
I was in the car.
For some reason, it was like a general rule of all families.
Well, I traveled everywhere with them. I've been to a lot of places with my parents, and now I'm thinking back, not one time was I
we also
ever
never
on a plane.
left. We basically never left the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah.
We would drive up to Massachusetts, New Hampshire, down to the Carolinas. Mm-hmm. But by the time I was old enough to pay my own way to Florida, I met my parents down there. But I think I'd already moved out here.
Yeah.
That's a good call, man.
I just never thought until Miles brought it up. Like, I knew that was kind of the rule, but you go, ha. And then when you actually think about it, like, no, they were dead serious. I never, not one time, other than being 2 years old, and I'll remember that because my mom said I looked out the window and asked my mother why the clouds were upside down. And she thought that was cute. I was never on a plane with them.
Well, that's one thing about you try to do things differently as you are a parent. There were things that bothered you.
I have flown everywhere.
So I wanted them to see more places than just were drivable areas, and I wanted them to experience air travel and understand how that worked.
Me too. But when I look at the cost, I'm like, I get where my parents were coming from.
Then when my kids were 10 or 12, they'd roll in. They got neck pillows on. They got their headphones. They got their Kindle or whatever they're doing. Their books or crap. Like they're like little professional travelers.
They are.
They were pre-TSA and the whole deal.
Before I was, that's for sure.
What is the farthest you've ever traveled or the longest you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
I was really racking my brain now. I don't think I've ever been on a plane with my mother.
I never have. I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah, no,
my
I have not,
stepfather, my dad, my mom. I've never been on a plane with any of my family members except for my own immediate family.
You know, even my parents met me in Mexico once, right, like 10 years ago. Christmas, kids were little. They meet us down there. I wasn't on the flight with them there either. So we have all flown to a place where we met up, but I've never been on a plane with them.
Same. And I think that by the time we all flew to Disney World and all met up there, I already lived out here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Damn, man. Parents doing me dirty. Hello, N. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So back in 2016, I was going to visit my aunt in Ohio, and I hopped a train from Seattle to Cleveland.
How long is that train ride?
4 to 8 hours from Seattle to Chicago, and then 7 hours from Chicago to Cleveland.
Were you on a sleeper car?
No, I went all the way in coach.
But at least on the train. The one thing I'll say about the train, and all I've done is from here to Portland a couple times, but just the fact that you can get up and stretch your legs, and they have the bar car, you know, all that stuff. It makes a huge, huge
I'll tell you,
difference.
one of the things that I've read about that train ride, and I don't know if this still holds true, but if you are going east, if you're taking that train to Chicago, from Seattle, it's an overnight train.
Sure.
So I think you leave at 10 or 11 o'clock. So you kind of miss a lot of the really cool views going through Washington State and then into Idaho and into Montana. Like you wake up and you're basically at that. What's the ski resort that's right there on the western side of Montana?
Wow. Jackson Hole?
Whitefish, Montana. I think you wake up in Whitefish, and then you get to see the views.
Yeah,
because
look, man, as someone who just had to travel with my parents all the time in the car, you are not wrong. But what I will say is this, all right? So some of the most beautiful scenery that I saw outside of the vehicle, when we got to like Utah, Arizona, right, just the deserts, the mesas, it's unreal. But within 20 minutes, you're over. Right? I mean, man, this is gorgeous. Well, 20 minutes later, you're like, are we there yet?
Right.
Like, I get that it's beautiful. I'm sick of looking.
Well,
man.
the 3-hour
I
train
just
ride to
wanna be
Vancouver,
over.
Washington Vancouver, Canada is great.
I believe that.
And the train ride down to Portland's not bad. It's not nearly as scenic, but it's a fun ride.
Okay, but the train ride to Portland, I couldn't.
It's kind of
tell
like a
you
flight to Vegas.
A thing out of the window. Dude, we were in a bar car and we drank them out of their booze. I mean, like, we could have gone by the most beautiful scenery ever. I wouldn't know. It could be
that train ride's fine. I've done it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Not every time was a party. I took my mom on that one.
Is it a good view, though, I'm saying?
It's okay.
I mean, it's just you're right next to water the whole time. Then you cross over. It's just quicker, and I've also made that drive so many times. I hate sitting in traffic.
Yes.
But like this summer, right, I didn't want to deal with putting my mom on a plane, so we took the Amtrak from Baltimore up to Boston, and that was awesome. You're just along the coast the whole time.
Oh, no kidding.
You go around New York City. Like it was really cool.
It's always suspect on the East Coast because either it's going to be beautiful and cool, or I know some of the train tracks just in Baltimore, you're seeing the ugliest that Baltimore is all.
Well, yeah, getting through D.C., Baltimore, and Philly sucked.
Yeah.
After that, it was very nice.
Okay,
Let me attempt.
Then I am correct. Because in my mind, I'm like, bro, I know where those tracks run.
You're right. And it's just like, there was one part. I even told my mom, like, remember that house you hated? It was over there.
My neighbor used to drive or a conductor on the Excel Express. It was like, man, you should just jump on. I'll get you on. You can sit up in front with me. I never took him up on it.
Dude.
I know.
Come on.
I'm kicking myself.
Well, and look, one time, right?
You had to get on in D.C.
But still, you're the front car.
It's awesome. But my mom had already flown out here, and then she was like, I've never been to Portland. And it's over Thanksgiving. So I said, screw it. That Friday, we'll just hop on the train and go down there.
Yeah.
But coming back that Sunday night, the only train left was that Coast Starlight.
Is that the 2-level
double-decker, right?
Correct. It goes all the way down to California.
Okay.
So it costs more money. We just got like a normal little whatever. But it was awesome. We had a steak, a potato.
Get out of here.
They serve you real food.
Damn.
Yeah. What is the farthest you have ever traveled or the longest you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Lana. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Hola. Doing well.
And thank you every day for making us laugh and rocking us out in the city. That's quite an admirable trait you guys do every day.
Oh, thank you very much. Very kind.
Okay,
I wish
so
my kids would say some crap like that.
They never will.
You know, it's weird, man.
Not until they have kids.
We went out to smoke a couple minutes ago. There's two guys. They're pretty hammered, but they're fans of the show. So, I mean, They're in a great mood. Hey, man, thank you. I get home. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm home. Silence.
They fist bumped us full bore.
nothing.
We're like, Lamar didn't go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I know.
I met a Ravens fan today down at King Street.
Yeah.
And he was like, why are you a Ravens fan? You know me. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know. I just grew up with him. He's like, but he was like, he likes the show, but he's like, my dad's a big fan. I don't listen. But I was like, well, the two guys I work with are Ravens fan.
Thanks for nothing.
I was like, that's why they're not here.
So what's the longest you traveled?
Maybe they'll show their appreciation when they're 40.
That's
Okay, I actually have 4 stories, but
She's saying when they eulogize us, Miles. I never told my dad this.
They're never going to appreciate
Now
that.
that he's dead, I appreciate him.
Right. So I have 4 stories, but I'm only going to tell one, and they're all due to the military, 3 of them with deployments. And this first one has to deal with the first Gulf War. At that time, I was in San Bernardino, having to fly to Saudi Arabia. So
how long does that take?
We'll get there. So, and having to go to Baltimore International, and with the layover for the first leg of the trip, probably took 12 hours between flying, and then had to stay the night in Baltimore. And, of course, you have to check out, and by the time you got into the airport, I know I had to wait 8 or 10 hours before I could check into the flight.
Jesus.
So you're waiting there, and, of course, all the other military people, and you've got a luggage cart with at least 7 pieces of luggage. You got your 3 big military bags, your 2 checked, an oversized carry-on, and, of course, everyone's carrying at least an M16. So we all kind of gather together, and one person or 2 stays there to watch the weapons while everyone goes out or gets changed. And then when you finally check into the flight, I want to say it was probably a 14 or 16-hour flight to get to Saudi Arabia. So from Southern California to Saudi Arabia in the first Gulf War, I traveled 2.5 days.
Jesus, man.
And also there's a time change. So as far as, you know.
What was the time difference for you coming from California, get to Saudi Arabia?
I think, they're ahead, so a day ahead. And I've traveled back and forth between the States to Asia and then, over to the Gulf War region. And I don't have an issue doing the time change going. It's always coming back that screws me up.
Yeah, really. I think it's 10 to 12 hours or somewhere in there, probably a little bit more.
I think that's about the worst amount, because you're exactly upside down.
Our question today, what is the farthest you've traveled or the longest you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
Why have I asked my HVAC guy I found on Angie.com to change my grandpa's trachea tube? Because I was so amazed by how quickly he replaced our air ducts. I knew I could trust him to change Pop-Pop's tube while I was on vacation.
Make it quick, young man.
Aw, see? Pop-Pop trusts you.
I think we should call a doctor.
Connecting homeowners with skilled pros for over 30 years. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport. Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and gray bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Hopefully here in about 8 minutes at 4 o'clock, we'll be able to get Jim Mueller on from the Seahawks sideline reporter and talk about the Super Bowl. Going to follow up there.
You think she'll be sober? I wouldn't be. Like, look, man, I covered them all week.
From what I could tell, I don't know if she's working.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I've been covering them all
playing.
week. My team won.
Yeah.
Today's the celebration. If I'm her, I am pissed.
Just depends on if we can get the cell signal. Now, speaking of drinking, here's a story that you guys should appreciate. It's almost coming to a head here. In November 1998, Carlos Bushby, 29-year-old British ex-paratrooper, sent out on an extraordinary mission. Why did he go out on this extraordinary mission? Because he was in a bar with his buddies, and they made a bet. And he said, you know what? Game on. That bet? To walk around the world without using any motorized transport. Now, 27 years later. He made this bet in a bar when he was 29.
He's fulfilling a bet.
Yes.
Damn.
27 years later, the 56-year-old is on his final stretch, dealing with social media pressure in a vastly changed world since he started. He is about 1,000 miles from completing his epic journey.
This is when he gets hit by a bus.
Which has become one of the longest human treks ever attempted. He began his Goliath expedition in 1998, standing at the edge of Chile, and vowed to return home to England on foot.
Chile.
He has refused to take any form of mechanized transport and is now in the final stages of his journey, expected to reach his hometown of Hull, England, September 2026. He has traversed 25 countries, deserts, war zones, jungles, frozen seas, showcasing incredible endurance and willpower. And after 27 years, his journey has taken him across Patagonia, the Andes, Central America, Mexico, the United States, Russia, Mongolia, and parts of Asia. He was a paratrooper back in the day in the British Army. An experience, he said, sparked his love for travel and exploration. He said being in the Army and seeing amazing places inspired him to want to see more. So his 31,000-mile expedition, which he initially estimated would take around 8 to 12 years, has turned into a nearly 3-decade odyssey due to numerous geopolitical, financial, and logistical hurdles, including COVID and all kinds of other things. He began his walk in Chile, went through the Darien Gap, came across Panama.
It's like the most dangerous place in
Yes,
the
between
Western
Panama and
Hemisphere.
Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he crossed that. His progress through Russia was repeatedly stalled by visa issues and a 5-year entry ban after he entered an unofficial border point. The tundra conditions meant he could only walk during late winter and early spring. In August 2024, to avoid entering Iran or Russia due to political risk, he swam across the Caspian Sea from Kazakhstan, a 180-mile crossing that took 31 days with support boats just for rest. So he'd sleep on it.
This is unbelievable.
He has since walked through Turkey, across the Bosphorus Strait into Europe, and as of late 2025, he was walking through Romania, less than 1,400 miles away from the UK. And his main role has remained unbroken. No mechanical transport to advance his journey, and no going home until he arrives on foot.
I wonder if he even remembers what he bet on.
Like a beer, I think it was. Our question, what is the farthest you've traveled or the longest you've had to wait? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kenny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hey, this happened, I believe, in the Squally Quake was 2001, if I'm correct.
I think so, yeah.
And so my wife and I live out here in the Gig Harbor area. In fact, we're further out on the Key Peninsula. We carpooled together. I would drop her off in Sumner, drive to Kent, work, go back, pick her up. We'd come home. Well, the day of the quake happened about 10:30 a.m. was the quake. My boss cut us loose from work at 11:30. What usually took 20 minutes, half hour on Fridays to pick her up, took me a half hour
to go from Kent, or hour and a half to go from Kent to Sumner to pick her up. So I got there at 1 o'clock. And then to get home, this is back, we only had the one Narrows Bridge. We didn't have two.
Mm-hmm.
We left her work at 1 o'clock and didn't get home till 8:30 at night.
Wow.
7.5 hours that usually took an hour and a half.
Now, is this because of all the traffic that's on the road? Is it because the roads are messed up? Is it because trees are laying across the road, or all of the above?
All the above, and the mechanical dudes had to come out and check the bridge, which took 2 or 3 hours. We stopped everything.
You know what? I'm okay to wait for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember we were flying, I can't remember if I'm flying out of Philly or if we were trying to fly into Philly. Either way, it's around Christmas time. Everybody's haggard. Everyone's tired. We understand. We had boarded the plane. We started taxiing, but then they stopped. Oh, we were flying to Philly. So everyone on the plane's pissed off, and we're not getting an explanation. Then about 10 minutes later, the pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, apparently the radar had gone down.
Wow.
But there was still one woman bitching. And I'm like, lady, if ever there's a good reason to wait, and I'm an impatient person, I'm like, I will wait as long as it takes for them to fix the radar, dumbass. I'm like, chill out.
Super important.
Yes.
On the reverse side of that, as far as getting someplace quickly, I have never seen, and I will never forget it. September 11th, when everything went down, I was on the air. Get off the air at 10 o'clock. My wife at the time worked in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
She was not too far away from the Pentagon. All right. The Pentagon got hit, and then there was still that other plane. All right. That was up. And I'm not sure if we got notification yet that it had been, it had accidentally crashed in Pennsylvania.
The passengers had taken
quote,
it.
unquote. They went up and stormed the cockpit and all that. But, man, when you got on the Beltway, it was one of the most crazy experiences of my life. And I had the Geo Metro, little 4-cylinder, but that thing could go, it pretty well hummed. I was going 105 miles an hour on the Beltway, 110 miles an hour. It was like NASCAR.
Yeah.
People were flying home because they were just trying to make sure that everybody was okay in the area. And I mean, cop cars are zooming past me. All of these Fed cars that are like black and unmarked.
Yeah.
And diplomat plates. There are jets flying overhead. I mean, it was almost like you were in the start. You're in the start of a war.
We were.
But just the lawlessness on the road. I think that drive home normally took me about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. I get home in about 30 minutes. I mean, I was nobody on the road was driving any less than 95.
No.
Now, normally they'll drive 80. So keep in mind that's not.
You're right. It's very fast.
This is 15 miles more than normal, but or 20. But I mean, it was insane. It was like you're in a NASCAR race, and everyone was panicking and looking at each other, and
there were no answers.
Yeah,
you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it was nuts. Do we have Jen on the phone yet? No,
we don't. But we do have Curtis.
All right, Curtis.
Hello, Curtis. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hola.
So the furthest I had to travel, I actually just got back on Monday, was over to Kenya, Malindi, to go visit my brother, and I sent you guys some pictures on the text, turned the Maasai warriors into 12s, got them hold the 12s flag, when we went to their village, went scuba diving, took the 12s flag underwater with me, pinned it down with some rocks, had my GoPro and got some selfies doing that, then had to watch, ended up in Paris on the return, so watched the Super Bowl live in Paris, started about 12:30 in the morning, but the furthest distance traveled during that trip has to go to the way I had to watch the NFC Championship game, because even though I took my Fire Stick in Kenya, it wouldn't allow me to view the content there, so I had to call my daughter, FaceTime my daughter, who goes to school in Australia. Her boyfriend put it on his phone. She set her phone up so I could see his phone. So I FaceTime called to watch a game in Seattle, in Kenya, through Brisbane, Australia. So if schools don't travel, I don't know who does. Let's
Damn,
put it
man.
that way.
That's awesome.
Damn, man.
That is kind of crazy.
That is cool, though.
Yeah.
I like the dedication.
Jeez,
wow. To watch the feed of a phone through your own phone.
Damn.
Well, dude, I had some buddies, right? They do that scooter club. They were doing a ride in Morocco during, what was it? The Huskies run to the national title game.
Oh, really?
So I was like, they figured it out, but they were watching games, same things, off some very random feed. It's
In Morocco.
In Morocco. Yeah, that's how my daughter did it. She knew a way to get it done. Do we have Jim Mueller there? Do we get a hold of her?
Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Jen. Hola.
Why have I asked my electrician I found on Angie.com to bury my pet hamster Nibbles in our yard for me? Because I was so moved by how carefully he buried my electrical wires, I knew I could trust him to bury my sweet Nibbles after his untimely end. Nibbles, gone too soon. May he scurry in peace.
Hey, sorry about your pet, but I just wire stuff.
Nibbles would have loved you like a brother.
Connecting homeowners with skilled pros for over 30 years. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport. Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
You know Graybar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Graybar does that.
What's up, little psychos? I'm Investigator Slater, host of the Psychopedia podcast. Psychopedia is a true crime podcast delivering raw, real, and absolutely gripping episodes every single week. I dig deep to uncover fascinating details of heinous true crime cases while exploring criminology and psychology theories. I take you into the absolute darkest corners of the human psyche, my favorite territory, and present cases like you've never heard them before. Follow and listen to Psychopedia everywhere you get your podcasts.
Doing?
I'm having a beverage after the parade because it's just a Seahawks celebration all week.
How are you not drunk already? I mean, come on. Why are you drinking so slow?
I knew I was coming on the show, guys.
Again, on this show, why are you not drunk already? So,
why am I not in studio with you guys? That's actually the better question. But we'll table that for a later time.
We do have a kegerator.
That is very true. You could just get pissed right
Men's
here.
Room
It's
IPA,
different.
delicious.
You can walk down.
So you...
That would have been a better... That would have been something nice to know before right now. Thanks, guys.
Well, hey, next time we got it all planned out.
Whatever.
Now, you actually got to ride on one of the floats, yeah?
I did.
What is the perspective like, right? You know, we're on the perimeter, and I see these floats going by. You just hear this insane roar of people. But to be sitting on one of these floats and go by 1 million people all screaming happiness, I mean, are there even words to explain what that's like?
No, it feels like everyone in Seattle is there. It is just smiles. It is cheers. It is unbelievable. First of all, the balance of some of these folks to stand on very small beams, amazing.
Yeah.
Climbing ability, exceptional. And I'm like, how are you getting down from that lamppost? That, 7-Eleven awning. How are you getting down from that?
We found out from two guys today, you let gravity do the work.
Yes, on their face.
That's the
apparently.
story they told us.
Oh, did they fall through?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the last we talked to you, you were down in San Jose, San Francisco.
Yes.
And it was a Friday afternoon, and the game hadn't been played yet. And then you were supposed to go down. How was the actual Super Bowl experience for you?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Although I totally disagree with the headlines that said the game was boring. It was not boring. That is not what it felt like on the sidelines. Our defense felt amazing. And also the pit in my stomach did not go away until the fourth quarter. Ted was totally right with A.J. Barner.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. I have been telling everybody.
Did you think about Ted? Did you think about Ted when he caught that?
I did. It did flash through my mind, and then I was like, "Oh, what questions am I going to talk to AJ about?" Did you see AJ today?
Phenomenal.
At the stadium.
Yeah, I was in the stadium. I was kind of by your. I saw you loading up on your Humvee. We tried to yell at you, but when he came out, I looked at my friends. And go, do you know the sideline reporter? Yeah, I told her AJ Barner was going to catch that touchdown.
It's true. You did. And if there was anybody built for today's moment, it was AJ Barner. He owned that stage. It was really cool.
I was thrilled. Did you see his jacket and everything?
Yeah, I did not.
Like the fur, and then he was
He
the
had
moment.
like a hat on. Yeah. It was
What's it like?
Owned the moment.
What's it like being in a locker room when a team wins a Super Bowl?
Well, I still smell like cigar smoke, and you know what? Here's the thing that I keep telling people. It doesn't feel the way you think it does. Like, you think that holding the Lombardi trophy is the biggest thing in the entire world, and it's not. And the guys actually said so. And I held the trophy, and it's freaking awesome, and I love the Instagram post. Like, I love being able to have that photo.
What, on the plane or on the plane or in the locker room? Which one?
So I held it on the plane, and I watched everybody hold it in the locker room, and then we partied, and it was ludicrous, and it was T-Pain. It was awesome. But honest to goodness, if it wasn't for the people and the journey the entire year, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. It doesn't do any good to hold it just for yourself. Like, it really is about, hey, the ups and downs, or how you learned who people were, or the experience. It's pretty awesome. And when you ask people, like, oh my gosh, how does it feel? It's kind of an ambiguous question, and just like a moment they can't quite put into words. And all of the guys deflected and defaulted to, man, I love my team. I'm sad I don't get to play with this team again. Meaning there are free agents who are going to leave. There's guys who are going to be traded. You know, that sort of a thing, right?
We had we had the Super Bowl trophy in our studio. And it was amazing just how fingerprinted up it is.
Oh yeah, it's not sexy.
It doesn't.
How light it is.
It is light, shockingly light.
It is super light. I know. I was surprised, and then they started passing it around on the plane. I was like, oh, I'm not going to throw my shoulder out by just passing it backwards. Gotcha.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What was the plane like? The plane ride home like? As far as had it sunk in yet for most of the players? What had happened?
It felt like there'd been a really good party the night before.
Quiet.
Oh, really?
I don't think it had totally sunk in. I do think there was part of the sadness of realizing, look, when you have been on the same schedule and routine for how many months has that been? Since August. There's like this really weird, oh my gosh, what happens next? Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm not supposed to go to the weight room. We're not going to practice. We're not reviewing film. What am I supposed to do?
Smoke weed and eat pasta.
Going home. Like, it's a really weird feeling where you almost are like unhinged in a way that you would be like, oh, I'm just going to be binge watching series of, I don't know, any number of shows.
Well, I hope most of those guys after today have bags packed for Hawaii or Cabo or some place to get a couple weeks away.
Vegas, Miami.
They will. They will get away, but our off season is going to be really short. You know, you're going to be a little bit of a disadvantage going into next year because you played till the very last week of the season, which is awesome. You're going to have a lot of responsibilities and media asks and parties, and eventually, you know, rings will be passed out. And so there's going to be a little bit more activity in the off season than you might have experienced before.
True.
And they're going to have to kind of work through that going into next year. But, yeah, it's been awesome. This is the closest group of guys I've ever been around, and it was very fun.
What about Coach Kubiak? What was his? Because, you know, obviously he's one of the first people we know that are moving on. I mean, it's got to be kind of a bittersweet thing. You always want to move up to that next, of course, that next level in any profession and to take over a franchise. But there's got to be bittersweet to some degree, I would guess.
Yeah, and I talked to him at the party, actually, and I went up and I gave him a hug, and I said, hey, man, we'll miss you, and, you know, I'm sorry to see you go, and I didn't really get into the specifics and the details, but he did appreciate his time in Seattle. I mean, he said he felt comfortable. His family liked being here. He really liked the team. He liked the media that he had interacted with.
Oh, quit bragging.
Yeah. Do you think the players were? Do you think the players were kind of blown away today by just the turnout of the parade?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, just to see what they've done and lifted up a city.
I think even the people that went to the parade were stunned at how many people were at the parade. I mean, that was unprecedented.
Start to finish, and not just on the parade route, but when you looked at some of the cross streets, oh my gosh, guys, it was unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is such a cool thing, man.
Yeah, and to hear, I mean, it's funny to hear you just echo how much they all said it was the closest team and they're just going to miss it. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about next year? Honestly, I know it's a little bit early to talk about that. I mean, we're still celebrating, obviously.
Sure.
But pretty solid team.
Young team, not a lot of contract issues.
Yeah, you would think
Your
that this is
window's
one.
wide open, right?
Yeah.
There's a few. There are a few question marks, and you got to figure out who you're going to pay, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with Ken Walker, and if you franchise him or not. But the window's wide open, and we'll see what happens. We understand what happens now. I think with hindsight being 2020, you understand what that feels like, and then what action looks like when you get to that point, right? There's going to be changes to the team. There always are. Right now, you are at the top, but you are going to be the hunted. So we will see how that all plays out. But you have to think that you go into the season being the favorites, and this defense, man,
that's ridiculous.
Does Coach McDonald? Does Coach McDonald, does he just have to hire a 25-year-old dude so you can have the same OC 2 years in a row for a change? The guy's been here 2 years. He said 2 offensive coordinators.
Honestly, I think they're going to go inside for the hire just to keep some consistency because you know what that scheme looks like, right? Okay. And because you want somebody who understands the talent and the scheme and what you've got in the system.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. People talk about the defense. They talk about Darnold. They talk about the running game and everything else and the receivers that play so well. But I'm just going to say it. Best special teams in the league. So it doesn't get talked about a lot.
Unbelievable.
But as far as a team goes,
that punter was sick.
Yeah,
and nobody talks about punters, and I don't either. But after watching this guy in the Super Bowl, I'm like, look, as far as punting goes, I'm excited to see this guy because it is unreal where he keeps dropping this ball, man.
He was so good.
Yeah.
I actually talked to him about that yesterday. I didn't want to talk to him during the game because there was too much going on. So I don't know what they said on the TV broadcast because I'll watch it this weekend. It was unbelievably windy during the game. And Michael Dixon and I talked yesterday, and he goes, yeah, the conditions were perfect right up until kickoff. And the minute the sun went down behind the stadium, which we all kind of knew, we knew that was going to happen, the wind kicked up to an unbelievable degree. So the way he was able to place those punts, the way JMI was able to hit those kicks, I don't think it was appreciated enough given what was happening on the field. Jason Myers was 2 of 4 in Week 18 against the 49ers in that stadium. It was the worst stadium for opposing kickers. It's really hard to place the ball you want where you want it when the winds are swirling, and those guys nailed it. So, yes, 100% those guys deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, you mentioned that on Friday. Between know the kickers, I know the tight ends. We should coach a team.
Great. We're making a great team.
Well, Jim, will you
do some analysis next year, Ted? Yeah.
Say less.
Say don't even throw it out there.
Will you do a shot for us down there?
I 100% will. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we will get you in, and we can do a shot of the day.
I would love to.
Well, thank you so much, Jim. Keep on drinking.
All right.
Talk to you later.
See you later.
Everybody.
Coming up at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today. You've probably heard it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that idea applies not just to words, but to the way you move through life. It's about setting an example, taking the lead, and adapting to whatever comes your way. That's why people love the Range Rover Sport. It's a vehicle that embodies that mindset, blending power, poise, and performance. With its distinctly British design and exquisite interiors, it's immediately clear this isn't just a car. It's a statement. Inside, innovations like the cabin air purification system and active noise cancellation create a level of comfort and control that feels effortless. And with 7 terrain modes and a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid with an estimated range of 53 miles, the Range Rover Sport balances raw power with refinement. Dynamic, agile, and truly instinctive, it reflects a confident, intentional way of driving and living. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
I'm Sally Helm with the podcast History This Week. In each episode, we serve as your eyes and ears into history's biggest events. Major elections, world wars, scientific breakthroughs. But we also bring you into the smaller, behind-the-scenes stories. The unsung heroes, secret meetings, even personal grudges that changed the course of history. Listen to and follow History This Week, an Odyssey podcast in partnership with the History Channel. Available now for free on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
You know Graybar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Graybar does that.
Life can feel overwhelming, but on my podcast, From the Heart with Rachel Braithen, we're in it together. Every Friday, a new episode brings you a new story with topics on motherhood, wellness, self-love, and more. Listen to From the Heart with Rachel Braithen wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Once again, thanks to Seahawks sideline reporter Jim Mueller for stopping by the program, enjoying a beverage.
She's about to get drunk.
We interrupted her beer. Let's see, coming up, Who Sucks Less, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com. And a couple from our question, what is the farthest you've had to travel or the longest you've ever had to wait? Guys, flying to Germany, about 2.5 hours. I think that was probably pretty close. Were we 10? I think we were 10 from the East Coast. And then another 4 or 5, weren't we?
Oh, flying to Germany?
Yeah.
Flying back, I think, took longer.
It did.
Right?
It did.
I know London, I flew direct.
That's
London,
a long flight.
London was 10 there and 12 back because of the jet stream.
You just about hit your breaking point when you land.
Right, but we stopped in Chicago, right?
And we ended up with the layover. See, the thing, we weren't supposed to have a long layover in Chicago, I don't think.
All right.
We're flying back from Germany. I don't remember what went wrong, quote unquote, but we were so celebratory that we ended up with like a 3-hour layover in Chicago just to get the F off the plane, sit down at the bar. I've never been that happy to have an unexpected layover in my life.
Michael says, I drove from Butler, PA to Daytona Beach to pick up my sister-in-law, then back. I drove 39 hours straight, total of 2,200 miles. When I moved back to Washington, I drove 2,750 miles in 52 hours from Butler. By the way, I did a Griswold tour through the Badlands. Last one, I drove a 26-foot U-Haul, pulling a car to Fort Worth from Milton, Pennsylvania. 2,300 miles in 57 hours. Then flew back the next day. It sounds like hell.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Also, it's Butler.
I was going to say Butler, PA, man.
Shout out to Mama Rosa.
They got a good high school football team.
They do. I have a buddy from there, but even he would be like, and this is before anything happened with President Trump.
Sure.
So now people know that town, but I was like, ugh.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I rode Amtrak from Pittsburgh to Seattle 3 times. It's great if you get a sleeper. All your meals are paid for, and you can drive. You can drive in your room if you want.
Drive in your room?
I don't know if you
That's
can
a really big
drive.
train.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
It's a big room.
Okay. Oh, let's see here. Time for a couple birthdays brought to you by Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company.
Dip responsibly.
What do we got here? Birthday shout-outs. Best day ever to Leighton in Tacoma, who just got back from the parade. Thank you for a parade on my day. Could I please have a big old bong rip and an Obama drop the beat? Love you guys.
Drop the beat. We did throw that parade for you. Happy birthday.
Yep.
Seahawks showed up. I thought that was cool of them.
Oh, man. This guy on our X account, Curtis, said he flew from Perth, Australia to London, then London to Seattle. Almost 30 hours in flight time.
Oh, God. God, so long.
All of my Joes, please help me wish my dear, beautiful friend Nicole a happy birthday. She's a very special young lady who I feel is blessed to have in my life. Her laugh is infectious, and her smile lights up the room when she walks in. She has such a kind heart and beautiful soul, had fun adventures together, and are looking forward to many more. So please give her the dirty Germans talking about how sexy redheads are, some dad jokes for Miles, and Mike's Jennifer Coolidge impression. Happy birthday, Mini-Me. I love you to the moon and beyond. Thanks, guys, and stay beautiful. That from the Ginger Midget, the Elk Plain Drifter, and Amy Jean.
Yeah, the thing I like about redheads is they never shave down below. It's like they want you to see all the red they have to offer.
Yeah, it's wild, so it's like a foresty slip and slide.
Yeah, it is. It's like a forest fire, Smoking the Bear Pops. Only you can get up in this.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, that is what he says in Deutschland.
Dad jokes. Guys, did you know that Bigfoot is sometimes confused with Sasquatch?
Oh, yeah?
Yet he never complains. A vegan and a vegetarian jump off a cliff to see who will hit the bottom first. Who wins?
Don't know.
Society. Could have done CrossFit in California. But,
yeah, I'm with you.
How do you know Jesus wasn't married?
How?
How do you know Jesus wasn't married? Because when he died, he came back. On fire.
I was going to say, he spent 40 days in the desert.
Guys, when a woman sleeps with a bunch of guys, she's called a slut. When a man does it, he's gay. A guy named Bart walks into a bar. He immediately gets shot and dies. Who killed him? Guy named Bart walks into a bar. Immediately gets shot and dies. Who killed him?
Mr. T.
The bartender.
Bartender.
And finally, what will Colin Firth name his son? What will Colin Firth name his son?
Colin Firth the second.
Colin second.
Oh, God, happy birthday. You look like the 4th of July.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Think about.
You know Graybar for electrical parts. But there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Graybar does that.
Do you have a dark curiosity? Heart Starts Pounding, Horrors, Hauntings, and Mysteries is a weekly podcast hosted by me, Kaylin Moore. Check out Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
They put hot honey sauce on the snack wrap? McDonald's outdid themselves again. The classic snack wrap we all know and love, paired with the sweet heat of hot honey sauce? Just what we needed to make it even more perfect. You know the drill. So go to McDonald's and try it today.
One extra email here. It's a running story. Gentlemen, catching up on the Odyssey app on your old episodes. Wanted to share my running story. Years ago, I was a lighting director for my old church. And if we had an event coming up, I, along with my brother and friend, stayed late setting up and programming all of the lighting. Called it quits one night around 3 a.m., shut everything off, and went outside the hallway that has a nursery at the end of it. This was the fastest way to get to the parking lot. As we get closer to the nursery, we hear kids laughing. We all looked at each other and sprinted through the exit. It basically ice skated to our cars because it was 30 degrees out. And we didn't wait for our windows to defrost. We stuck our heads out of the window and peeled out. Came back at 9 a.m. to prep for the event to start and investigate the nursery. Turns out the nursery has a laugh track that they play so when kids get dropped off, they're not scared. Don't judge us until you've been in a big empty church at 3 a.m. P.S. Any stores down here in the Tacoma area selling San Juan Men's Room roasted red salsa? Cheers, boys. I'm from Justin in Tacoma. Mike, do you know, is the Thriftway maybe down there?
There's a Central Co-op that's down there off of Pearl that might. I know that they have the beer brats, so they might have the.
Very nice. Okay, very good. Coming up at 5:08, we will drink a toast with a shot of the day. But first,
now the men's room wants to know who sucks less.
Hey, time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They always suck, but it's up to us to determine out of these 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to like the Men's Room on Facebook or follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
All right, let's just get to it. Now, you might remember this first story from earlier this week. I believe it was on Monday, but it involves a daycare teacher in Illinois. She's been accused of giving several toddlers laxatives after telling the children that the items were candy. Giselle Juarez, she's 23. She's been charged with 3 counts each of attempted aggravated battery, causing bodily harm to a victim under the age of 13, and endangering the life or health of a child, both of which are misdemeanors, which seems like a lot to say for something that's a misdemeanor. Anyway, the St. Charles Police Department, they said that at about 9:45 a.m., it was contacted by multiple parents that their children attending the Learning Experience daycare there had been given a chewable laxative by one of their care teachers. Officers responded to investigate and confirmed, in fact, that the incidents that occurred, each child was 2 years old or younger. Now, one of the affected children's parents said, quote, "My child was still suffering from constipation," which the doctor said was going to be a side effect of the laxatives, of coming off of laxatives. The kid, by the way, just 17 months old. Now, the parent added that the child had been suffering from diarrhea for 2 months. So this is not like it was a one-time deal with this woman. And doctor's visits, plus they switched the toddler's formula. None of this would fix the problem. She says, quote, "We thought it could have been a virus, and that turned out to be negative. We found out from the director that she had fired her employee because she was giving them laxatives and saying it was candy so that they could get sent home because she was overwhelmed." Police said the suspect does have an upcoming court date, though presently unclear when that appearance is scheduled. So initially when I heard that story, I thought it was a one-time thing. At least 2 months of giving these kids laxatives and just pooping themselves crazy. Which, look, she might just think, the kids are pooping. The thing about diarrhea is it's dehydrating. Yes. The kids are actually in danger at that point. I mean, come on, man. All right, now we go to, where the hell is this? We go to Virginia, where a fire chief, he was caught on camera throwing a disabled man's phone over a hedge. Well, the fire chief blamed his actions on having PTSD. So John Linden, he held the post of station manager during his 32 years at the Norfolk Fire Service. He's claiming that he was unfairly fired after an investigation found that he committed misconduct. He's claiming he was dismissed unfairly, having been discriminated against for having PTSD. He told the court that years of physical abuse as a child, as well as traumatic experiences on his job as a firefighter, had contributed greatly to subsequent mental health difficulties. And he said this made him react in a, quote, heightened manner when a guy who goes by the name of Wheels Media, this guy's in a wheelchair, and he posts videos, he goes by Wheels Media, that says he became aggressive after ignoring advice to leave the scene. Now, explaining how this guy's phone ended up over a nearby hedge, fire chief said, well, he reacted in a split second to deflect the man's swinging arm, which resulted in the phone being lost. The problem is, the video of the situation does not show the guy in the wheelchair swinging on it. Anyway, responding to the former station's manager's claims, a lawyer says, look, Mr. London's behavior during the incident was not driven by PTSD. Instead, this was his normal way of reacting to any kind of situation. It should not be attributed to any kind of previous drama. So there was a guy in a wheelchair. I do not know what the conflict was, but he snatched the guy's phone and just threw it. His excuse for why he did it, can't say the excuse is not true, but how he described the situation, patently untrue. Yeah. So they fired his ass. Now we go to Pennsylvania, where a fire company, they're accusing municipal officials of denying them use of fire hydrants and telling firefighters to, quote, let the building burn. So in a statement released, the MMP&W Volunteer Firefighter and Ambulance Company, which covers 4 towns, They said that the Mercersburg Water Authority officials informed them they were no longer allowed to use hydrants that are owned by the authority. So according to the statement, the volunteer firefighters have responded to a barn fire last Monday. Now, due to freezing conditions, water draft sites in the area were unusable for fire crews, so they relied on hydrants from the Mercersburg borough to support the firefighting efforts. Now, following the fire, that's when they said the fire chief received a call from the Mercersburg Water Authority. And during that call, the fire chief was told the department was not permitted to use hydrants and told that in the event of a fire in that particular town, quote, let the building burn. The fire company also said the chief was told it's only one building. Well, in a statement, the fire company alluded to ongoing challenges and disagreements with municipal officials. Meanwhile, the Water Authority, they issued a statement addressing some of the concerns raised by the fire company, and the statement concedes the fact that the Water Authority, their chairman, Ed Twine, he did make the let it burn comment, but that was his own sentiment and does not reflect the opinions of the authority. He's just the guy that runs it. Anyway, while admitting that the water system has challenges and limitations, the fire company called the authority's actions a blatant neglect of fire protection planning, which I think is fair. So those are your stories. We have the daycare worker that's feeding little kids laxatives so they poop themselves and get the hell out of her face. Right? That's the long and short of it. We have the fire chief in Virginia who knows what happened but grabbed the phone of a wheelchair-bound man and just threw the bitch over some edges. And then finally, we have the Pennsylvania Water Authority, which has told the volunteer firefighters, you can't use our hydrants. Just let the buildings burn.
Okay. Now, if it's buildings, I don't know if that means homes.
I don't know.
You know,
but either way, if it is a home, they're not permitted to use the fire hydrant.
They can't use it.
Right.
Okay. Well, that can be a bad thing.
Why can they not use it?
But I don't know, man.
But I'm just saying, like, what's the point of a hydrant if the fire department can't use it?
And the thing is, apparently they have some backups, but because of the temperatures there right now, below freezing, like whatever their other sources are, like, we can't access that because it is frozen. The hydrants are still flowing, and the authorities like, dude, what are you doing?
It has been cold.
It is called a fire hydrant.
Okay. I'm going to say the fire chief, I think the one that sucks the most, believe it or not, is because nothing has happened yet in Pennsylvania. If somebody dies in a fire,
sure,
then I'm changing my story or the way I look at this. But a daycare teacher in Illinois, that's pretty bad. I think the fire chief who threw the phone over the hedge. Look, if someone wants to come out and say, look, I have issues, and here's what I believe that the trauma was. Mm-hmm. You know, I tend to want to believe that person because if they're going to admit these situations and they do something that's just so stupid and off the cuff, there's obviously an underlying thing there. So however you got there, you might not be the right person to be the fire chief, but
also he's just saying that.
He could.
That is him. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying he's the only one to put that forward. It's not like some psychologist said, I've been working with him. He's just saying, I got problems.
And he does.
He does.
And he does.
Can't argue that.
No one got hurt. The phone went over the hedge. I'm going to say the daycare teacher in Illinois sucks the most. Because something could have really bad happened to one of those kids. And they were toddlers.
Yeah.
They were
17
very
months
young
and younger.
kids. So I'm going to say because of that, look, if you're overwhelmed, that's one thing. Talk to somebody. See if you can get some help in the daycare or whatever. But don't drug the kids with laxatives to the point where they have diarrhea for a month and a half.
It only sounds funny.
So I'm going to say that one sucks the most. And the fire chief sucks the least.
I think it's easy to say she sucks the most. Or he.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
It was a she. Yeah.
All right, it was. Also, Thrill's right. I mean, they're children that now have diarrhea. That is a mess.
Like,
they could be dehydrated.
Sounds funny, but it's really, really
especially if you have no idea why this is happening.
And these kids cannot explain the situation, right?
The whole thing in Pennsylvania, I just don't really fathom.
You're the water authority. They're fire hydrants. It's the volunteer firefighters who show up to put out a burning building in your town, and the water authority's like, but you can't use our hydrants. I don't understand.
And the fire chief that threw the phone over the hedge. Hedge. Right? You said he's in a wheelchair and that's his thing. He does media, but... No.
Oh. He's not in a wheelchair. The guy whose phone he threw was in a wheelchair.
Correct.
Yeah.
But did you say he does like media?
Yeah, but Wheels Media with a Z if you care. Yeah.
I do, because I looked it up and it was an automotive magazine.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to say he sucks the least, this fire chief. Just because I don't think it had anything to do with the fact the guy's in a wheelchair. I think
I don't think it's that.
I think it was more of like this guy just didn't want to talk to media about what I don't know, it was a car accident, a fire, whatever. This just seems like a guy annoyed with another guy.
That was kind of funny. After this picture in my head, I'm like, I keep giggling.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less. If you like the Men's Room on Facebook or follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. All right, coming up at 5:08, we will drink, we will toast with a shot of the day.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Welcome to Radio Rental. The scariest stories you've ever heard in your life. All told by real people. And off we go.
This wasn't a human being that I saw. There's something here in this house, something not of this world.
There was a woman moving through the hall. I stepped back and I was completely alone.
Radio Rental is available now. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you thought the snack wrap was good before, wait until you get your hands on the all-new Hot Honey Snack Wrap. All the sweetness and heat you can handle, just one bite will have you falling in love all over again. Juicy, sweet, and now with a little kick to bring it all together. If they ask who we do it for, it's for you. So look no further. Hot Honey Sauce is here.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up at 5:08, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. A new article from the CDC details how drugs and mental health don't mix.
Oh, would it depend on the drug?
For the most part, yeah. But basically, they were saying just, we understand when people get down, when people get depressed, we all kind of find our escape.
Sure.
And they just talked about how drugs don't exactly, they have the opposite of the desired effect as far as the long term goes.
So here, have some Wellbutrin.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You need our drugs.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
Take our drugs, not those drugs.
Right.
Smoking cessation, they want to give me Wellbutrin again. All these different things. They want to put you on some kind of crap. It's like, I would just prefer to take only the things that I really, really, really need.
Sure.
And other than that, I don't want to take a cocktail of pills every day.
Nope.
I'm with you.
I think a lot of people could benefit from certain drugs.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Whether you're smoking weed, microdosing, right?
Yeah.
And I bet you put the potential side effects on those commercials. It'll be a lot less.
I would be a much better
Giggle
person.
and fall asleep.
I would be a much better person if the doc would just give me some Ritalin.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes.
I'd be better with morphine.
Yeah.
Like, Doc, seriously.
I've sat at a lot of beer gardens, a lot of festivals. I ain't never seen a fight.
Right. All I'm saying.
Yeah, like my buddy's his in-laws, somebody in their family is like high up security for Coachella Valley, whatever that in India, Indio. Yeah, and they were like, how's Coachella? And he's like, yeah, it's great. He's like, yeah, they're sneaking in stuff, and he's like, no issues. It's like
they're high.
Then they have Stagecoach.
Stagecoach. There's a rock one.
Yeah.
He's like, a lot more booze.
Those are different.
A few more fights.
Different. New research revealed that HIPAA can't stop AI from de-anonymizing patient data.
Well, yeah, because AI, you can't sue it.
Right.
I mean, look, you can't stop anyone from giving out the information. It's the fear of being sued or going to jail.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And that's all it is. If you don't have that threat over you, there's nothing that stops you from doing things.
What's Steve got going wrong with him? Well, he's got a thing underneath his butt.
Steve has a thing growing on his testicles. And it has teeth. I mean,
Exactly. Doggone it, man.
Sue me.
There's a new piece in...
Oops. Right, I mean, honestly, anyone can give out any medical information. Again, it's just the fear of punishment for doing it.
Crap talking AI.
Yeah.
Who are you going to sue, you little bitch?
What you gonna do?
You going to take some more water away from the planet? Fight me. I don't need a lawyer. There's a new piece of the New York Post talking about how Americans are on the verge of quote-unquote sextinction.
No, they're not.
Who's going extinct?
They're just basically saying that there's a growing number of people not having sex.
No.
They're saying not having sex as much.
And
I'm like,
social
look,
media is a problem.
Well, if this is bothering you, call me.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're out there and you're lonely,
Right.
you know the number 206-803-ROCK.
There you go. 7625.
I'll come on over. Got this taken care of.
We'll knock this out.
Hey, dude. Charles.
Hey, man.
It's been a while.
Miles, I heard
What was your buddy?
I'm feeling a little dry.
Roger.
Hey, man, it's Roger.
Hey, man.
I heard the call out.
I'll buy the ticket in.
You didn't go home with me that night, but...
Put you up in the Captain Cook.
I've been waiting for you. I won't go extinct either. Would have been pretty dry, you know what I mean?
Dude, that guy was big.
Don't you know it?
That dude was big. He could have drugged me out and
I'm big
thrown me in his
everywhere,
car, man. Scared.
Miles, I miss your pretty
All I
mouth.
wanted was my halibut and cheek bites.
Good, I like it when you're scared.
I like the idea, too. You ordered halibut cheek bites. Yeah.
I mean, they're fried and they had them at
I'm
a bar.
sure they're delicious. You got old Roger looking down at you like, let's have some cheeks.
Nice little ale they to dip it in, probably.
I want to have some cheeks, too. I like how you handle them cheeks, boy. I just heard butt and cheeks.
Chewing those cheeks, aren't you?
I've got a butt and cheeks. And I named my butt Hal. So it's
If you're in Alaska, if you're in Anchorage, you can
Ask for Roger.
Yeah, Roger will be right behind you.
I got something close to that color that you can eat.
I was also the only guy in there without a beard.
Ooh, I let that clean face. Oh, man, you know what that means? You let the Gerber,
Smooth
baby.
and easy.
That ain't going to scratch with it.
Exactly. I'd let an orca do it. That's about it.
An orca doesn't ask. Oh, guess what we about to do?
Guys, guess what happened to me?
Orca.
I was sodomized by an orca, and I ain't too proud to admit it.
It's kind of weird. You know? We were talking about that in the opposite.
That's
Just like,
weird.
if you're going to do bestiality, I mean, you're never going to tell anybody if you know.
No.
You said a
Goat.
dog, no. You said orca, like, yeah.
I'm telling all my friends, dude, orca just licked me right up the backside. Could you believe that? Unbelievable.
How do you go to group therapy with that?
I'm not even upset.
Even the people in group therapy would have nothing to say.
I don't even
Right,
talk
everyone's
about it.
always encouraging, like, I'm sorry, did you say an orca licked your backside? He did.
It did, man. Yeah.
Huge, big fish.
My name is Miles. I'm a sodomizee.
But if it's a goat, I ain't telling anybody.
Orca whale.
Even if I like it.
Got his whole tongue in there.
And then no one will ever know.
He hit me with the clover leaf.
But an orca, I'm getting a shirt printed.
He can fold his tongue. Once he got used to it, it was kind of good.
See what happened to Miles? He went to SeaWorld. You're not going to believe this.
Pulled his ass in the pool.
This orca
Just licked his backside for 20 minutes.
Oh, baby. That tongue is huge.
Don't
Just throwing them sardines behind my shoulder.
Don't even need a bidet anymore. One wife Charlie is what we call him.
Yeah, I've been sitting up his blowhole. Yeah. It's made it vibrate, man.
Don't stop till it comes.
Okay.
You ever defecated in an orca's blowhole?
It looks like when a sewer main breaks.
He wasn't real happy. I told him quit wiggling.
So people aren't having sex.
People ain't having sex.
All right.
Go away. Sex station. That's where we're at. Thank you for bringing it around.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay. Put your thinking caps on, Jess. Time for the Merriam-Webster word of the day.
Starts with an O.
Orca. It's gotta be orca. Oh, I give you guys a 1% chance of success. Ain't no friggin' way if you guys get this. It's a noun brought to you by the letter T. It's actually a double word, if you will.
All right, tatas.
But it's in general use. It refers to something existing in an original, pristine state. In philosophy, it refers to the mind in its hypothetical primary blank or empty state before receiving outside impressions. Again, this is something existing in an original, pristine state.
It starts with the letter T?
T. T-R. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
All right, it's two words.
I hope the
T-R.
word is true.
Tabula rasa.
What?
Learn a little something.
Yeah. Can they put words in there that we use?
No.
That's what I'm saying. We need to start taking
know.
them out. Like, we keep
Jesus
talking about how
Christ.
we've added this one. Like, screw that.
Yeah, no one says that.
Put them in the Hall of Fame. How about that? The Merriam-Webster
that's
Hall
what-
of Fame.
I said we should have two dictionaries. A dictionary of all the words in English language and a dictionary of words you actually effing use.
Correct. France is sending letters to 29-year-olds telling them to get a move on with having children yet again. We're in sextinction, Ted.
Jesus.
Why does everyone want everyone to have more children?
I don't know. There's been a growing thing in the past 5 years where all of a sudden everybody's up in everybody else's business.
We're not going to go extinct for lack of sex, right? If we go extinct, it's something stupid we did. But, look, maybe your birth rate is down.
Sure.
It will come back. But the idea, look, it's a strain on your resources.
Right.
I'm just saying that practically from my point of view, but also putting them out in the world, with tax money there's paying for school. I mean, there's all the crap.
Shouldn't we be celebrating? Shouldn't we be celebrating people that think twice before they have kids and are actually
these people that age group are struggling?
Right.
They don't have money. They don't have enough money now, and you're like, I can't believe they're not pumping out kids.
We're not here to solve the problems, Ted.
Right, correct.
We're just saying, yes, you will go broke. Yes, you're gonna. Come on, man.
Right.
And I get the feeling if people were living. Well, actually, to be honest with you, if economically you're doing really well off, maybe you still don't want to have kids because you're living really well economically.
And the thing is that there are folks that get just outright outraged when people choose to not have kids. That's a selfish. Who's going to take care of you when you're older? That's the selfish angle.
I mean,
who's gonna take care of
technically,
me?
you.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That's the system
Wait,
we're
so
playing
I'm
into,
selfish because I'm making you take care of me. I'm paying somebody to take care of me when I'm older versus making my kid take care of me. That's
And also,
selfish.
I hate that argument. I never thought, when my wife was pregnant, I never thought God help in the future.
Right.
I don't think that way now. I certainly did not think it then. And then the more I know my kids, maybe not you guys.
Your kid shouldn't be your retirement plan.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Come on,
They are
man.
here for child labor. That's
Exactly. In case you guys didn't know, the entire city of Seattle was descended upon throughout all hours of the morning and afternoon today because there was a major, major event in the way of the Seahawks Super Bowl victory parade. And that just made me think, what other big moments have we had here in the city of Seattle?
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
So because traffic was absolute ass, I took forever to get in here and didn't have a whole lot of time to do some real research. So this is the AI overview when I type in the 10 biggest events ever held in Seattle.
Ever.
All right.
So it's got to be the world thing, whatever.
World's Fair.
No, not the World's Fair. The 99 things went sideways. There's all the riots and all that crap.
You hang on to that one there.
Okay.
So at number 10, they go with the Klondike Gold Rush back in 1897 to 1898. Although
I remember
technically
that.
an industry boom, it was a defining city-shaping event that established Seattle as a major hub for Alaska, bringing all that gold back
And
down here.
basically built Aurora.
Oh, really?
That
Is that what
original
that
route,
was?
all the way north. That's why we have that.
Aurora Borealis.
That's
okay.
why we have two.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And look what Aurora is now.
Well, they passed down that tradition.
Oh, yes, they did. I'm looking for a gold
It's
mine.
not two. What is it? Is it
99.
99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think Ritchie Highway.
Yeah, two's all the way up there.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl XLVIII win in parade. The Seattle Seahawks' first championship win, sparking one of the largest public gatherings in city history. I believe 750,000 people descended upon the city of Seattle
Do
that
you
year.
guys think... do you think today's parade was smoother than that one or what?
I think it was just because riding the light rail up here, I heard that it was done by noon. And based on what they were saying, I didn't expect it to get underway until 12:30.
I mean, it really
There's no
just
way that
seems
parade was done
smooth
by
to me.
noon. They would have been having.
I think the
whole bunch.
parade is done,
because I
but
was
not
in
the
that
festivities.
stadium till 11:20.
Okay.
And the players were still in there when we left.
Oh, damn.
So maybe what I was hearing is that the celebration at the stadium was done. The parade had already moved and it was on
Correct.
its way. So that might be what it is. I had two stupid kids that were behind me as what I dude, it's oh my god, it ended already. It's like it's noon, bro. They said it was going to start at 11. The celebration was
Not
at
to be
10.
young. They're not going to wait for you.
These kids were clearly skipping something.
Well, yeah.
I think they were skipping
And they were
school.
going to be late.
They were all by themselves. They were freaking out. Somebody was calling that they didn't want to answer the phone to. They sounded like a bunch of idiots there.
You should have turned and just looked them in the eye and said, look, as an adult, I can let you. Your parents know you're at the parade.
Right.
Just relax.
Just answer the phone so that they at least know for sure where you're already dead, okay?
They
answer
just
the phone.
want to make sure you're fine.
Emerald City Comic Con, an annual event, the premier comic book and pop culture convention in the Pacific Northwest. How many people do you generally see when you make your way out there, Steve?
Bro, it's hard for me to estimate because I don't know how many people, especially with the new convention center, which is beautiful, by the way, and huge, but it is packed. Although I think I get out of it this year, you see, because My daughter has tickets for Friday, but I have to go to work. So I'll get her there, but she's going to go on. And then Saturday, she already has a date lined up with a friend.
Okay.
Now, normally I accompany them, but this year there's been no ask.
Okay.
That said, for her birthday, we got her tickets to one day at San Diego Comic-Con. That one I'm on the hook for, and I am going.
Sure.
That is
makes
like
sense.
That's the preeminent
that's the
one.
Mac
But
Daddy.
that's why we got one day. We waited. I did not wait. My wife waited online for hours on this one day. And the way they do it, it's a real difficult thing to get into. The only day she could get was Thursday, which is opening day. Explained it to my daughter. She's like, don't care. So me and her are going to fly to San Diego in July and go to Comic-Con.
Comic-Con is the days that I miss our old building because the windows in there actually looked up towards the convention center.
Yeah.
You could see everybody. You got to point out characters as they're walking up the street. It was kind of fun. The 10 biggest events ever held here in the city of Seattle. A massive premier gaming convention held at Seattle's Convention Center, attracting tens of thousands of attendees. PAX West.
Okay.
PAX West, yeah.
PAX West. Never done that one. I've always enjoyed gaming. When it goes into like going to something like PAX West, I have a hard time getting interested in it.
I understand, but honestly, I would tell you that Comic-Con, and look, I'm not a big gamer. I'm not a gamer. That's the way to say it. But even at Comic-Con, they do beta testing of a bunch of video games. So I keep trying to convince my son to go one year.
Gotcha.
And he is so quick. He's like, nope, too many nerds. Right? I'm like, well, your sister's like, nerd. I go, but hey, man, I said, believe it or not, there are entire rooms dedicated to beta testing video games. It's like, can't do it.
This is like your wife trying to convince you to go to Total Wine and More. I don't care about wine, man.
When she told me that they have booze, I was in. And that's the difference. This is his booze. I wish, dude,
listen to your elder, sir.
You would have a very good time. Everybody wants too many nerds.
One of North America's longest-running music and arts festivals held over Labor Day weekend at Seattle Center. Bumbershoot. Very good. Never actually been to Bumbershoot.
Really? It's been a minute for me.
I've seen all the posters, and it's not my music scene. I should make
That's
my way
fair.
down there
That's
just to
fair.
be around it, but I've never actually gone.
It's for the people. I mean, like, if you go for the music, go for the music. But it's about the people watching and, eating that beautiful, wonderful corn.
Well, and forever, it was just cheap, too.
Not so much.
That was like a massive thing, and then they started bringing in bigger and bigger acts, like everything else, and it got really expensive.
Exactly.
That's when I checked out.
But I used to go. I mean, it was awesome.
10 biggest events ever held here in Seattle. Another annual event, a month-long summer festival featuring hydroplane races, the Torchlight Parade, Blue Angels, serving as a massive civic celebration. We're talking Seafair.
That's so unique to Seattle, too. I'm sure there are other cities that do something like that. But, coming from Baltimore.
Maybe in Saudi Arabia.
We live on the water.
Right.
And everything was about eating crabs, you can watch sailboats. But we got to Seattle, and I'm like, look, the way they treat water here is like, no, man, this is an event. And it's so cool to see. And it's cool to live in a city where the Blue Angels fly over once a year. I'm not going to lie. I'm a grown-ass man, but they fly by our windows every year. And all of us, we're talking to you, but everyone's tapping each other on the shoulder, pointing out the window. Look.
Kid you not, Seafair was the reason that I met my wife.
Really?
Yeah. So you remember a while back, there was Albert Lee Appliance. They sponsored the best seat in the house.
Yes.
Which when they do the Torchlight Parade, is down there. They got that main area there where they got Steve Rabel down there, and they're doing all the stuff. The best seat in the house was literally on the corner of that particular block. And so it truly was. We had booze up there. Ted and I went on down there. We had booze. We had great food. We were on TV the entire night.
I brought my mom.
You brought your mom down there. Absolutely. The important part is that we were on TV all night long, right? And so Ted's Twitter starts blowing up. My Twitter starts blowing up. All of a sudden, this cute young lady tags both of us. It's like, it's so cool seeing you guys on there. I was like, cool. I like this one. So I started...
All of a sudden, Mike, hey, baby.
Right, followed her back instantly. The response I get after I followed her was like, Mike just followed me. I sure wish the Ted Smith would follow me. I'm like, dude, bro, you gotta follow this
It's okay
chick.
to be second choice.
You gotta follow this chick. I wasn't even third choice, Miles.
You were the right choice.
She hated me on this show.
Rabel got a text.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all right, Mike. My first girlfriend, she introduced me to somebody. It was like, you know him, and he was like, that show, and our show was only a couple years old. He goes, not the dumb one.
Oh, damn.
She's like, yeah, like, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah, it happens.
Let's see. A World's Fair that put Seattle on the map and established the University of Washington campus layout.
Oh, really?
Alaska Yukon Pacific Expo back in 1909.
That's wild, because the university used to be downtown.
Right?
Well, I did not realize.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, the whatever that fancy old hotel is. You guys probably stopped in that bar to have a cocktail.
Oh, You have told me this before.
And
I
it
want
has
to
that
say,
big circle in the front. That's the original U-Dome.
Okay.
Yep. Biggest events ever held here in Seattle, as it was mentioned. Massive international protest that shut down the city and drew global attention to globalization issues. The World Trade Organization protest back in 1999.
WTO.
I remember driving downtown. I forget what we were doing. We were going to some show or something like that. But I remember driving down here, and I saw everybody on there, and I had no idea what was going on because I was 9 years old at the time.
Yep.
I know a guy that was in one of those contraptions, and they couldn't move it because it would have snapped his neck.
Oh, Jesus.
That was part of the reason nobody could move them. They were like,
right,
you can move it, but
jeez, a whiz.
Damn.
Number 2, it destroyed 29 city blocks, but led to the city being rebuilt with stone and brick, transforming the downtown area from 1889, the Great Seattle Fire.
Yeah.
It took me way too long to learn about that. When I did, it was... What happened here is absolutely devastating.
I was still not taking that underground tour, but I heard it's all right.
Same. I really want to, but after watching that fun little video down at the waterfront over by the Google building, they got a fun little video that is way too song and dance and fun to describe a
fire, the
devastating fire.
By the way, we're all familiar with the Great Chicago Fire, right?
Oh, yeah.
I had a thought about you last
that
week.
cow.
I'm one of those unexplained, whatever, going back in history. So we all heard about the Chicago Fire, the cow, blah, 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 blah. Did you know that on the same day, a town north of Chicago, still in the state of Illinois, basically burned to the ground, damn near everyone died. Okay, like 75% of the population died, but they couldn't get word out to let people know it had happened. And then they don't know that Chicago's on fire, okay? But Chicago's the bigger city. It gets all the national ads. So basically, like 3 days after this fire wiped out an entire town, and these are soot-covered people that had to travel, I think it was 75 miles.
Oh, my word.
To get to Chicago to say, hey, we need help. Chicago's like, oh, God, but it was on the same day. So they're like, no one ever heard about this fire that per capita was considerably more devastating. I felt bad.
It's like the other city that Vesuvius destroyed.
Right, Herculaneum or something like that.
Exactly. You don't even know it.
They never talk about it.
Right. Pompeii's the one that gets all the song and dance.
You wiped out 2 cities, but they're like, but we like Pompeii.
Yeah, that's right. And then I'll leave you with this last and final big event ever held in Seattle, soon to be dethroned by whatever just happened downtown here. It defined modern Seattle by establishing Seattle Center, the monorail, and the Space Needle. Century 21 Expo in 1962, the World's Fair.
Yep. Yeah, man. Elvis was there.
Elvis was there.
Kennedy was
What's
there,
really
too.
cool is that, one thing, I don't know if people know this or not, but most World Fairs back in those days, they did do a needle-type structure. So Toronto has one.
Yep.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
I've seen it.
San Antonio?
I don't know if that's. They do have a.
They've got something.
It's like a giant ball on the top or something.
Okay.
Or I'm thinking
They try to
Dallas.
build something.
The Stratosphere in Vegas.
Something iconic for the city.
A jewelry thief in Turkey was able to make a quick smash and grab, but his choice of getaway vehicle is questionable there.
What was that vehicle?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve and Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting. It's still sunny.
Yes, indeed.
shot of
It's
the
sunny
day.
outside.
How
It was a
about
nice
that?
day. 1 million people went downtown to celebrate the Seahawks' unprecedented second Super Bowl victory. All positive vibes, right? Yeah, I got some bad news, man. And I hate to be this guy, but I can't not bring it up. So today we chose 48-year-old actor James Vanderbeek, best known for playing Dawson Leary on Dawson's Creek and star of the movie Varsity Blues. Sadly, he passed away today after a couple years long battle with colorectal cancer. And he's around his wife and 6 kids. And look, I know that is a buzzkill. That is bummer news. But this guy, historically, and by anyone's account, is one of the nicest people, not just in Hollywood, but to walk the face of the planet, right? The Beak, he was the guy, he got to the point where, and this is when you know you're doing well, when you get to do cameos just being yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just he shows up as James Vanderbeek, and somehow that made it cool.
It's never, you're never too young to go get a colonoscopy. A lot of doctors will say 50 years old.
No
Keep in
way.
mind, yeah.
He's 48.
He's 48 years old with 6 kids.
He found out in 2023. Do the math on that, so he's 46, counting for the fact this year isn't that old. But yeah, so he passed away earlier today. Left behind 6 kids, man, and a wonderful wife. again, like I said, I know today was a good day. I felt bad even when I was writing the shot, but I'm like,
Vanderbeek,
but it's
too,
the
like,
beat,
he went
man.
through a period where he was kind of tired of talking about Dawson's Creek.
Sure.
Varsity Blues. Then he was like, yeah, but I want people to like me again. And like the last, 10 years, this massive resurgence.
He became
he would do
the
cameos
beat.
just as
Just
him.
to be
It
him.
was awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, passed away a little bit too young, man, earlier today. But so let's toast him, man. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bijola.
All right, let's get a contestant on the line now for Profile This, 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Make money from your podcast with the Odyssey Creator Lab. You create the show, we bring the advertisers. Apply now at creators.odyssey.com. The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Nick. Welcome to the Men's Room. Hola. All right, Nick, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have a choice today of one of three categories. Today we offer you the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did somebody find in their food? And finally today we have Seriously, where you guess the petty conflict that led to violence.
Let's go drugs.
All right, go with what you know. All right, we go to Morgantown, West Virginia. That's right, home of our very own Miles Montgomery.
Make me proud.
Now, a man who is not Miles Montgomery, he has been arrested, and he's facing charges after task force members in Morgantown say they found him in possession of drugs, including inside of his body. On February 4th, members of the Mon Metro Drug Task Force, they executed a search warrant at an apartment in search of evidence that Jerry Gibson, 45 years old of Morgantown, utilizes the residence, quote, to further the distribution of controlled substances, or as we call it, a freaking drug house. Anyway, when task force entered the apartment, they said a woman came out of the bathroom and she was detained immediately. They say they then made several announcements for anyone else in the bedroom to come out, which Gibson did alongside two other women. Brothers rolling deep. Anyway, task force members then conducted a search of the apartment, which yielded 12 grams of cocaine under the bedroom mattress, as well as $720 in cash. Gibson was then taken to the Monongahela, M-O-N-O-N-G-A.
Monongahela.
That is Monongahela, right?
You can trust Miles on this one.
Son of a bitch. Monongahela County Sheriff's Office.
Monongalia County?
It looks like Monongalia.
Monongalia.
Yeah.
Also Monongalia County.
Okay, so this is Monongalia County.
There's a
Don't trust
Monongahela
Miles.
River.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Native American everything.
Yes. So they took his ass to the county sheriff's office for processing. Now, once he arrived, a full-body search of his person was conducted, which yielded more drugs in his delicious, tasty anus. Now, Gibson has been charged with possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance. He's being held, blah, blah, blah. Look, the question is, what are the drugs that he shoved up that tasty, tasty backside? Mike, I don't know why you want me to say it like that. Yeah.
Okay.
The drugs on the backside. Was it cocaine? Was it meth? Was it heroin? Or was it fentanyl? Again, as Mike was saying, it's tasty. Tasty. I don't know why he made it twice. So cocaine, meth, heroin, or fentanyl.
The Little Caesars approach.
That's exactly what it is. It's a Caesar ring.
You said they already found the meth on him.
They found cocaine on his person when they got his ass down to the...
So you're saying what was it? What was also stuffed?
What was in the backside? The tasty anus.
I know for a fact there's cocaine in Morgantown, so I'm taking cocaine. I've heard.
And
I don't know. This sounds like meth activity.
You're saying fentanyl, Nick?
No, I'm thinking 3 chicks. That sounds like meth activity to me.
Oh, meth. Gotcha.
Yeah, and he's going to get arrested again. So he's got to bring something in for the other people in there. I think it's meth, too.
You think it's meth? Okay. What was in this guy's backside? Cocaine, meth, heroin, or fentanyl? We'll find out next. Next.
Oh, crap.
Next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is drugs on profile. This week go to Best Virginia. Morgantown man. Busted with all kinds of drugs.
Best Virginia.
I have never heard that.
You know who I'm
one.
slamming.
Right? Morgantown man.
Yeah. Better than Charlottesville. Drugs in his house, but he also had some of the backside. Question is, what do you have stuff up his anus?
Tasty anus, yeah.
Cocaine, meth, heroin, or fentanyl?
And Nick, that is a question that we posed to you. Let us start with Miles Montgomery. Now, he's heard to the grapevine the Morgantown might have good cocaine.
I haven't heard it. I just smelled it one time.
Oh, that's it. There you go. Blind taste test.
Yes.
It was not cocaine.
This is not my guy.
So, Nick, with the big old, that leaves you and the Ted Smith. Both of you agreed that it was meth. It's West Virginia. It's in his butt. But it was not methamphetamine. No, my man had some fentanyl up the old tasty.
Yeah, it's still West Virginia. They still like that oxy tip kind of thing.
God, man.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
You think it'd just relax your butt? Like say the baggie it's in, it seeps out a little bit.
Ask Stevie Nicks.
I mean, would you just like, sorry, bro, it's...
I think it would probably kill you.
No. Stevie Nicks is alive.
Well, right. But I think he was smuggling it. He wasn't planning on any getting out.
He was smuggling, yeah.
Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
What a day today. Right? I went down there earlier. I was going to say, again, thanks to my friend Vanessa for hooking up the tickets. She was like, I got them. But man, seeing that stadium, also, it wasn't nearly as frigid as it was in 2014.
No, not at all.
What a beautiful day.
Yeah, just gorgeous day. And
Still nice out.
It's unbelievable, man. I said to Miles earlier, if you told me to plan an event in Seattle on February 11th, make sure it's outdoor with 1 million people, I would have politely said, I'm not going to do that. But as it turns out, Mother Nature, apparently a Seahawks fan, said,
you have a poncho?
No. I'm going to make it nice, man.
I know. And then the run's been like that,
Beautiful, too.
Right? Because I was going to say, divisional round against the Niners. That was a gorgeous day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Rams, we were out there all day in the sun. Good time.
Yeah.
And then today, the parade route.
I mean, the water's beautiful. The sky was beautiful. The mood was beautiful.
Someone at Snoqualmie loves this.
Now, they're hurting. I mean, sadly, their weather will be back next week.
It will be.
But also, I just want to give credit to people that came down to the parade. Like, I've never seen the light rail that crowded, right? Again, I got on at Northgate. There's only a couple more stops north of us. But even looking out there right now, I think everybody actually listened to what Transit Authority said and the cops said and took public transportation.
And another thing I like about it, though, is you're right. That was a huge thing. But the fact that, and I get it, if you're S out of the cops, like, it's going to be ridiculous to get down here. Everyone knew that. Not one person cared.
Yeah.
Everybody showed the F up and said, okay, bring on the crazy.
And you can say what you want about light rail service, and we're paying all those taxes, and it's been 15 years, 20 years to get this crap going on and all that. Think how packed it was and how much of a difference that made. They're going to do a Ballard line. They're going to do a couple more.
Oh, yeah.
When that line, the bridge opens up, it does make a difference as far as being able to get downtown.
Huge difference.
Correct. And look, right, a lot of the taxes, they're too high, right? They're crazy.
Yeah.
But this one makes sense.
Right. And then just living in the city of Seattle. And, just to echo what Cooper Kupp was saying, like, it's awesome. Like, this is for the whole Northwest, right? I mean, look, I hate to give them credit. We got Hawks fans down in Portland.
Sure you do. Oh, you do, for sure. I mean, look, man, my kid, he's a Ravens fan. I did not ask him to be that. Is by his own choice. And I know it's from watching me. But he took the day off from school to go down to the parade with his buddy. And he was excited because he's like, dude, it's still, I live in a city where and he's born and raised here, right? Yeah. So he's still like, but I'm seeing my city have this much excitement about something that we both recognize as being the most significant thing in sports. Yes, you could argue soccer, blah, blah, blah. I'm a football fan. But, like, he was stoked. Like, this is... He did say one thing, too. We get on the train, and, it's hawks everywhere, obviously, and he just looks at me and goes, Dad, you're the only person on the train going to work. I'm like, I know.
Once you can go all the way east about Coeur d'Alene, and that's going to be Seahawk country. Even if you
sure.
go north into Canada, it's Seahawk country. When you start getting into the Wyoming, Montana
then
area,
it goes Broncos.
That blends
or
Broncos
Hawks.
a little bit more.
You get some of that. Also, for years, Montana, like those states, to me, we always called them open territories.
Yeah.
So, you'll meet some old school fans of Washington or Dallas or Niners just because they were good in the 80s and 90s. But you're right. All those people, most of those people, every summer I go to Montana, you could find plenty of Seahawks fans.
I'm sure you can.
Regina in Canada loves us because of John Ryan.
Correct. They got to be Australia's got to have a bunch of fans now.
The pettiest thing is Portland, though. They have a ton of Seahawks fans down there. I had a buddy who worked for the affiliate that used to run the Seahawks in Portland.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they promo the team, they can't say Seattle because people get pissed because they're that petty. It's kind of like the Baltimore-D.C. rivalry, where D.C. doesn't even know there's a rivalry. But for whatever reason, Baltimore's a little bit of a chip. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Would you like me to explain it to you?
Yeah.
We don't get federal funding. It's the largest independent city. Everything that happens in Baltimore is paid for, but not the county. You don't live in the city, you contributed nothing. Like those stadiums and all that, like Baltimore County skated on that, that's why.
Okay.
So when you look down the road and you're like, well, you get the Smithsonian, and it's nothing against D.C., but you just go like, we're 37 miles away. You get the Smithsonian, everyone paid for them. We got some rickety-ass boats in the harbor. You know what I mean? So that's the attitude, and it just permeates to everything.
But you're right. Like I always said, like when I was a kid, right? Like the National Aquarium's in Baltimore.
It is, but you got paid.
Right, so you do. But I always thought of Baltimore the same way. Like, that first year, what was that, 2000, 2001, when the Ravens won?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, all right, good for them. And it wasn't until I worked at a sports station in Baltimore.
You didn't know everybody up there.
And I was like, oh, you guys kind of hate us.
Hate you.
Right?
That's kind of what
Portland is the same way. Like, because I had to go down there a lot
But
last
you
couple
could
summers.
say Washington in front of the name. We weren't that petty.
Right. Well, the Sounders and the Timbers, obviously. That's
Sounders
pretty
and Timbers.
rivalry.
And Portland and Seattle basically start becoming cities around the same time. Seattle got Boeing. That helped out a ton.
Well, the thing is, I watch Trailblazers games just because that's the closest thing we got.
But yeah, just great time. Thanks to everybody that said hello. It won't shock you. A lot of Men's Room fans down there.
I discovered that just walking down the street, man.
Yeah, people were pumped.
Yeah, the first guy I saw, it was a custodian at the Northgate Light Rail Station. He's sweeping up and all. I mean, a million people are getting on. And this guy screams my name. I turned around. It's like, Dale, hey, man, have a great day. Because I'm there with the kids. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to work, man. And he's like, oh, ass, dude. Have a good day anyway. I'm like, no, I'll be fine. I'm just saying I'm not going to the parade. That's all.
Right. Me and my buddy, we had a celebratory one afterwards.
Yeah.
I think I told you guys in the office, like, you wouldn't believe the amount of shots and beers I just passed up.
I haven't said, man, you should have. I said,
do Fireball.
Right, but I'm telling you, and then it felt like I ran into every bartender I have ever met in my life down there at that stadium today.
With a flask or something.
It was awesome.
I don't know you did it because you even made the comment, this is in the office, man, I mean, like, everyone's offering to buy me shots, and, you know what I mean? I was good. I didn't do it. And I just looked at Ted and said, there's no chance I'd have made it out of there okay. I know me. I'd have been hammered.
I just know how much you value your sleep and to actually get up that early.
I never get up at 6:30
I know you're
unless
dying.
it's a sporting event.
I
told Mike I just dosed myself with melatonin last night, threw on the CPAP around 10:30 and just like, go to sleep, dude. Go
Set
to
the
sleep.
alarm, go to sleep.
Yeah. But super fun and just, I mean, look, if we've been here, 21 years. So if you listen to the show, I obviously converted over.
Yeah.
Right. But, I grew up a massive Washington fan. And then for a lot of years out
Daniel
here,
Snyder bought the team.
Daniel Snyder just ruined it when I lived out here. But then you start hanging out in the community. And then there was a couple of years where we just went to all these games for free. So I just became a fan. So then this year, especially after going to London, then going to Munich, I just felt like so much more invested. So it's just so much cooler this time around than the last time. Right. And look, I met Coach McDonald, in last February.
Right. And you did not see this coming.
No.
It's just a different thing, man.
I'm going to celebrate at his brother Ronald's place this weekend.
Because nobody saw this coming until maybe the last couple of weeks. But I mean, during the off season, nobody saw this coming. And it's, to me, that's what makes the whole thing so cool. So Casey went to Super Bowl. It's like, okay. Or New England or Brady. You go right. This I mean, look, in the last...
And McDonald took a lot of S, because remember, he took down all of Pete Carroll's stuff.
Oh, right.
People are like, oh, the new guy. I don't know how that's going to go, right? And then you also
Guess
add
what?
Getting rid of, first of all, Snyder, credit to him for making that trade, but then to get rid of Geno, to get rid of DK, and just be like, all right,
Hurst.
Go ahead. Right.
Curse.
I mean, there was some tough calls, especially for the fans to look at that and go, man, I can't believe that happened.
Not only that, but at the beginning of the season, the experts, they picked Arizona to win the division.
Well, I do remember saying
they had the
then
49ers or the Rams second, and then whichever, vice versa. And then, the Seahawks were last. As far as what they thought it was going to work out, as far as who would win the NFC West.
All I would say, anyone that picks the Cardinals to win NFC West, they should not be on TV telling you what they think.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, sorry, man. Like, we no one can just predict the season outright, but there's the Cardinals, there are the Jets, there are the Browns, there's the Raiders. Raiders will get better, and honestly, just because Tom Brady is going to force them to be, but generally speaking, like, there's certain franchises, like, if you hear someone say, dude, they're winning the division, stop talking to them. They have no idea what the F they are talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. The Cardinals? I mean, nothing against them. Just rationally, looking at the roster, looking at their ownership, looking at their coaches, like, you pick them to win?
I honestly want to sit down and have a conversation with them. Like, what did the Cardinals specifically do? Or did you
For
really
you to believe.
Correct.
Or what did the other three teams do so poorly, in your estimation, that the Cardinals...
The Niners were still pretty well intact.
Sure.
The Rams have just...
Not a big leap.
They've been in a holding pattern since they were at the last Super Bowl, so they've been fine.
I think for the Seahawks, a lot of people, right, like, and it's nerdy, as people say, knowing ball stuff, but like you would have to actually watch a lot of ball and know how good that defense was going to be.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold was still a question mark. Hell, Mike, me and you were doing it half the season, right?
Yes, sir. The man was 14-3.
I know.
And I know he choked in the NFC Championship game. But I'm like, look, man, every quarterback's going to have a really bad game, and they're going to have a bad game when they want to have the bad game least. But also, he was 14-3. I mean, there was something there.
Thank
obviously.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, for Sam Darnold, good. He never has to answer that question again. Right? For Cooper Kupp, having the Rams like, don't take him. He's hurt, blah, blah, blah. Like, good for it.
The Rams said that because they did not want. Look, any other team outside of this division takes them, they would not have said the same thing.
Right. And I know there's people that are born and bred here, everything else. But, like, as a transplant still, I've been here 21 years. See those players, like, he's right. If you don't like Seattle, F you.
Yeah.
Right? Go Hawks.
Well, like anything else, you stay here long enough, it becomes your hometown.
Yeah, for sure.
But they had so much pride today. It was great to see, right? We always have issues with who we like, don't like. I was yelling at the mayor. I was yelling at the governor.
What'd you tell
By the way, I just want to say real quick, Hank Kilmatic here on YouTube says, and by the way, the Cardinals are the oldest NFL franchise. But he says the Cardinals have been a franchise since 1898. They have been to the playoffs 11 times.
Yeah.
You tell Governor Ferguson, thank God you moved out of our building so we have to deal with it.
The dignitary bus just happened to be in front of us. And we were like, there's the mayor.
Glad you're on 805th. Didn't like the detail, brother.
It was funny. It was dignitaries, then Blitz.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. Headlines coming up. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A Canadian should not have been speeding, or he'd still have his $120,000 worth of drugs. Meanwhile, a jewelry thief escapes on a four-legged walking slug. Man finds his lost prosthetic leg when it washes up on a beach 14 miles away. A woman plans a 70-mile charity run through the mountains, and she's making good headway. And a dog walker in England finds the ideal chew toy on a stroll. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. We got a Turkey where the jewel thieves are on a budget. CCTV footage from a local jewelry store was released that features a man breaking into the store using a forklift. He used the lift to open the shutter doors of the store in order to make his entry. He then proceeded to drop a shelving unit onto the glass cabinet containing jewelry, which he scooped up as much as possible before making his escape to his getaway vehicle. Now, he's not dumb enough to use the forklift in his escape. No. He jumped aboard a donkey instead. Footage shows the man trotting down the road, riding ass to flee the scene. Unfortunately, he was eventually tracked down and faces some harsh penalties.
His getaway vehicle was a donkey. I mean, look, I'm not a criminal mastermind, man, but I think if you just ran the idea in front of me, I'd be like, I like everything you're doing until you get to the donkey. I don't think that's your best plan of escape.
Do you know what your first word is when you jump onto a donkey to escape? Punch it.
Punch that ass.
Sorry. In other news, New England, where you can find almost anything while out on a walk. A woman was walking her dog in a local beauty spot when she noticed something unsettling at a nearby dumpster. A severed human foot. She quickly called authorities, who arrived on the scene, and an investigation began, but it didn't take long for them to figure out something rather important about this foot. It was just a misplaced Halloween decoration.
Oh.
Turns out that it belonged to a local farm that hosts a pumpkin patch during the spooky season, and this particular prop had been forgotten and happened to, quote-unquote, grow legs to make its way to the dumpster. It's been properly disposed of. I'm all full of jokes today. To Ontario, where the criminals forget the number one rule of breaking rules. Officers were able to bust a man carrying quite the drug haul. He was found in possession of cocaine and oxy worth a combined total of $119,000. And how did they manage to find this upstanding individual, you ask? He was going 60 and a 35.
Dude! I mean, we've been saying this as long as we've been on the air. I'm not encouraging you to be a drug mule. But if you are, obey the traffic laws.
Right.
That's all. Wear your seatbelt. Make sure your brake light isn't broken. Do the speed. All the basic frickin' thing. Use your blinker. Actually yield the deal. So, you know why? Because you got drugs in your car.
Exactly. $119,000 worth of drugs in your car.
Man.
You need to be as low on the radar as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
It was also discovered that he was driving on a suspended license as well after he was pulled over.
Does not surprise me. But the point is, they didn't figure all that out until after they pulled your dumb ass over.
He's now facing a ton of charges, and the drugs were seized by authorities. I don't think they had pulled him over yet. I think that they ran up behind him after they caught him going 16 to 35,
right.
clocked him, and were like, wait a minute, this is a suspended driver. Dummy.
Like I said, I really feel that there should be a $150 fine for the crime of being stupid.
And 16 to 35, come on.
Right?
That's what I mean.
That's just dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got drugs in the car.
In the UK, a local woman is doing her part to raise awareness for prostate cancer. Miles, this is right up your alley. The horrible disease is known to most people, as it takes the life of one man every 45 minutes. But just in case it's not on your radar just yet, our gal here is doing a little fun run. She's taken herself 70 miles across the Black Mountains in order to raise money and awareness, all while drawing a massive image of a penis as her run path. She's currently got her fundraiser up on justgiving.com.
I've done it.
Yes, you have. You and Ryan were going back and forth.
Oh, yeah. I sent him a huge Wallingford penis.
A Wallingford penis.
From Gasworks all the way up top. Man, it was perfect. And the thing is, I really had to map this thing out.
Yes, you did.
Because if you go a little the wrong way, man, it's kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Right, distended testicles.
You screwed it.
Do you, run through people's yards?
No, I looked at the map one day, and I just saw this huge penis. And I'm like, I got to do this. So I figured out a way to wind my way around, man. It's probably like 4 miles or something like that. But that's my screensaver for him, whatever he calls it. It's just this huge map penis.
But just in case that story left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Over in England, a woman is happy to have her mobility back. She was enjoying a day at the beach about 10 months ago when she was suddenly knocked over by an aggressive wave. The impact was so hard that it knocked her down and out of her $2,700 titanium prosthetic leg. As luck would have it, the leg was swept out by the wave and disappeared into the water. She and her party searched for the leg but were unable to come up with it until they got word that it had been found by nearly a year later, about 15 miles away from where she had lost it. Someone happened upon it and posted a photo to social media, where it eventually caught the eye of someone who knew the woman. It's now on the way back to where it belongs.
My aunt used to work for the D.C. Metro. She just said, every time it rains, we just go to Lost and Found because there's always umbrellas. Of
course.
Right? She's like, Stephen Gregory. I went down to Lost and Found. I grabbed my umbrella. I'm like, all right. She's like, why is there a prosthetic leg there? How do you not know you don't have your leg when you stand up? Right. I said, I don't know. That's one of those things.
And that's a great point.
I mean, that was the whole thing. How do you not know you don't have it?
Right.
And you don't remember? It's like once you sat up off the Metro.
Once you fell over onto the floor, you go, oh, my leg.
Maybe if you had a spare somewhere, you could fathom forgetting one, but you're on a bus.
This is like they wore it on the train is the point.
You're on a train. Yeah. You had to stand up at some point. That's fun. More Olympic coverage on USA and NBC. As far as your men's room sports, you got college hoops on ESPN2, CBS Sports, and FS1, as well as pro basketball over on ESPN. As far as your weather, expecting partly cloudy skies and a low of 37 tonight. Tomorrow should be mostly sunny, with temperatures topping out right around 54. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Big thanks to Taryn Daly, Steve Mig stopping by, Jen Mueller.
Oh, yeah.
All went down the parade and had a blast. Hope you had a good time, too.
Great day.
See you tomorrow for Big Dummy. Jolene is up in seconds.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.